frequency of 162.400 megahertz out of Austin, Texas remains off the air due to significant damage to power and communication lines in the area of the transmitter. This is expected to be a long-term outage. In the meantime, please visit our website at weather.gov/EWX. Your weather synopsis for South Central Texas. Humid and breezy conditions will be found across South Central Texas today ahead of a cold front that will move through the region later this afternoon and into tonight. Increasing chances for showers and thunderstorms are expected ahead of and just behind the front, with the potential for an isolated strong to severe storm east of I-35. Fair conditions will then prevail through the end of the week. Cooler air will filter into the region behind a secondary cold front heading into this weekend. Your local forecast. Tonight, a chance of thunderstorms. Showers. Much cooler with lows in the upper 40s. Southwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour, becoming northwest after midnight. Chance of rain 90%. Wednesday, a chance of thunderstorms. Showers, mainly in the morning. Much cooler with highs in the upper 50s. Northwest winds 15 to 20 miles per hour with gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Chance of rain 80%. Wednesday night, clear. Lows in the upper 30s. West winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny. Not as cool times in the upper 60s.
All right, my friends, what is going on, everybody? Hope you're doing all right out there. Glad to have all of you guys here for today. We got ourselves a start of a severe weather event here that is kicking off. We do have a marginal risk today, which today is not the big day. Just going to go ahead and throw that out there right away. This stream's going to mostly be essentially, taking a look at what's going on in current time as well as what we can expect here for tomorrow. So today's stream is not going to be as crazy as tomorrow's is forecasted to be. So tomorrow's is going to be a little bit different. But my friends, we have completely redone the layout. It seems like I do this every week, but this time I'm pretty happy with it. Last few times we changed it out, it was not the best. So here we go. We got ourselves a brand new layout here. We got the radar, we have the satellite, we got all kinds of views here for everybody. Hope everyone is doing all right. Like I said, let's go ahead and see who is here. We have not done that yet. Let's see, we have ourselves, we have Weather Fan, we have Caden, we have Gabe, we have All Alone Prepper, we have Penny with the jokes, we have Cube. Let's see here, we have ourselves, Rain is here, we have... What's up, guys? Proxy here with a $25 super chat right off the bat. Proxy, thank you. Saying glad to be here from another informative NWW116 stream. Let's keep our eyes to the sky, everyone. Well, Proxy, thank you so much. Once again, that's super nice of you, as always. Anyways, we're glad to have you guys here for today. See, Phantom's here as well. What's up, Phantom? So, okay, this is just a test. But if there was a tornado to go on the ground, we have a new marker we can pull up here saying tornado on the ground, and if there's not, we'll obviously hide that. And in the absolute worst case scenario, we can pull out this card, the tornado emergency card. But like I said, that's just a test. No actual tornado warnings, no tornadoes on the ground right now. We're good. But like I said, obviously that's just kind of there so that we can, if there was an event, if, say, a tornado was to drop down, or if there was a tornado emergency going on, then we would have to pull out those cards. But anyways, like I said, tomorrow is kind of the big day here. Tonight we just have a little bit of a little risk here from the Storm Prediction Center. We have a marginal risk for severe weather across areas here of southeastern Texas. Kind of what we're looking at here at the moment. So tornado probability is there. That's the whole reason we are live here right now. Well, half the reason, because we're going to do a little bit of live event and half of tomorrow's forecast, essentially. That's kind of what this whole stream is. It's a mixture between some light coverage and tomorrow's outlook, essentially. So like I said, tornado risk here for for today here, 2% risk here. Damaging wind probability is there, but hail is not a concern. So obviously, with that being said, we got to watch out for maybe an isolated tornado or two to happen today. Maybe the possibility for some damaging wind gusts here for today as well. Hail's not really a concern. However, tomorrow, there we go. We got an even bigger threat here tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be the day where we're going to need to be very active. We're going to need to be doing a long coverage with everything there. So we're definitely going to be we're going to need to be live here for a lot of tomorrow. Like I said, we have ourselves 2 risk of severity, a pretty large risk too. I mean, stretching all the way across eastern Texas through Louisiana, through Arkansas, southeastern Missouri, western Kentucky, southern Illinois, and Indiana is also actually included with this here, which is pretty crazy. For this time of the year, that far risk stretch all the way up north is pretty interesting to see. We have ourselves, portions of central, western Alabama here. We have all of Mississippi. All of Mississippi, no matter where you're at the risk here for the possibility of maybe some severe weather for tomorrow. Like I said, tomorrow's a big day, which is Wednesday. Now, we track to Thursday. Now, they have another marginal risk here for areas of southern Alabama and southwestern Georgia. Obviously, portions here of the panhandle of Florida as well. So, this is going to be continuing for the next several days. Like I said, we have today with that little risk here, which we're going to be doing, some coverage tonight. Like I said, it's nothing too crazy. It's literally a very low threat for severe weather tonight. But tomorrow, like I said, it's a big night. This is a mixture between some light coverage, like I said, and obviously what we're forecasting for tomorrow. So we'll be talking about all of that fun stuff there. But like I said, tornado probability is there for today across areas of eastern Texas. This does include areas here towards Houston, Pasadena, College Station, Texas, Sugar Land, Texas, and the Woodlands, Texas. So if you're near those areas, you might be at risk for a possibility of a few thunderstorms. Perhaps maybe a few strong to severe thunderstorms could be possible. Let's see here. Haley says, how am I doing? I'm doing pretty good, Haley. Hope you're doing good as well. Gabe says, it's my birthday. Well, happy birthday there, Gabe. Absolutely. Yeah, I haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing good here. Tornado Clips is here. What's up? Hope you're doing good. Glad to have you here, my friend. But like I said, that's the risk here for the next little bit, regarding all of that fun stuff. So we're going to go ahead and switch on back here over. So here's the current live camera down here in Dallas right now. Very hazy. Apparently, camera's unavailable. We're gonna reload this camera here. But you can see how it's pretty daggone hazy there. It looks pretty nasty. Once again, this is right here towards Dallas. And if we take a look at the radar here to Dallas, you can see that line is essentially just right here east of Dallas. Where I'm circling right there, where I have my cursor at. That is right where Dallas is located. So that's exactly where Dallas is right now. All that precipitation is essentially to the east of it, and all of it is moving essentially towards, looks like it's actually moving there towards Dallas. We'll go ahead and bring up the big radar view here for a second. So there's Dallas, and we can start to see some of that activity actually moving its way up here, to the Dallas region, actually moving their way towards eastern Dallas. So a little bit of a storm system. There is a little bit of lightning detection on this, actually. Temperatures nearby is actually pretty warm, mid-60s, dew points. That's odd. Dew points of 66, which, I mean, it's not that's not odd, but the fact is, it's the same as the temperature, so humidity must be through the roof here, which is pretty crazy. Let's see here. Thunderstorm clouds in Dallas's weather fan. Yeah, like I said, these are what we call cumulonimbus clouds. And if we take a look here over at the satellite view, it looks like a few of them are actually starting to pop off. Let's go ahead and switch over to that here right now. Oh, wrong screen. There we go. We were on the right screen the whole entire time. If we look over here on the right-hand side, you see these big clouds that's starting to pop up right here? Those, my friends, it's a little glitchy there for a second because it's trying to load all the data. But essentially, those are the cumulonimbus towers. Those are essentially, basically the thunderstorms that's actually kicking off here. Hype says, is there a tornado threat today? There is. There is a small tornado threat here. Nothing major. But there is a little tornado threat here for today. Like I said, we just looked at that here. I'll go ahead and bring it up here back on the main screen for you guys right now. So let's go ahead and switch this over. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the view. We're going to take a look here at the, let's see, go over here to the severe weather side of things. We're going to take a look at today's tornado probability. So it's just a little 2% region. So across these areas in that green circle you see there, that, my friends, is where that tornado possibility is for today. Like I said, it's just a 2% zone. It's nothing crazy. It's just a little zone that we're watching out for. But overall, like I said, it is something we should watch, as a few strong to, severe storms obviously could be expected here, for today. So that's kind of indeed what we are looking at. So, but anyways, like I said, here towards Houston. Houston's inside of this region, Victoria. Let's see, College Station we were talking about there. Jacksonville, Texas, kind of those surrounding areas. College Station, like I said, Houston, We have Columbus, Gonzales, a lot of these areas. Basically, essentially where that green little circle is, that is where the tornado possibility is for today. And you can see there's Texas as a whole, basically the eastern side, covering actually a decent amount of the, the coastline here, all the way from Rockport up to Texas City. That's kind of where this, like I said, that is kind of what this is at right now. Let's see here. Weather fan wants to know, is Dallas in this? So Dallas is not in that tornado probability for today, which is good. We take a look here over at the overall view, essentially for today. Yeah, you can see how Dallas is in that generalized thunderstorm risk. If I actually go ahead and zoom into that, you can see how it says general thunder. Basically just a normal thunderstorm risk. Like I said, nothing too crazy, just a few thunderstorms are going to be possible towards the Dallas region. And actually, like I said, we currently have ourselves, this little guy is kind of tracking basically to the northeast, but it looks like it's going to be ramming into Dallas, at least over the next hour or so. If things continue, to progress the way that they are, it does appear that those storms eventually will be moving into the Dallas region. But like I said, that severe weather risk here is just to the south of Dallas. Like I said, once again, for these areas here, just to make it look maybe a little bit better for you guys, I'm going to briefly do something for y'all. We're going to change this to basic, maybe. I think that's white view. There we go. Yep, there you go. You can see that really good now. I'm going to move the radar away so there's not any clutter. But there you go. So that's where it's at. Once again, there's Dallas up there. Here's Houston. There's College Station right here. That big circle. That is today's risk here regarding severe weather. Like I said, it's not a big risk. It's really not a big deal. But like I said, tomorrow's is where the big one happens. Tomorrow is the big risk. And like I said, that is tomorrow's risk. All the way up into areas even of western Kentucky. I mean, Louisville is right there in that thunderstorm risk, but not the severe weather risk. But areas here towards, like Bowling Green, I mean, there's a marginal risk here for severe weather, which, like I said, marginal risk here, if you don't know what that means, it's basically the lowest severe weather threat that's available. There's a scale from 1 to 5, 5 being the highest, the highest severe weather chance, and 1 being the lowest. Now, tomorrow we have a level 2, but the thing is that we're a little concerned about is the fact that this covers a lot of territory. I mean, this is a very large area here tomorrow that potentially could be seeing some thunderstorms. Obviously, something we definitely do need to be watching out here for. So let's go ahead and switch on back here to this main view. So like I said, there's the yellow. That's tomorrow's big threat. Mostly isolated here towards like Louisiana, southeastern Arkansas, central and western Mississippi, including Jackson area, Baton Rouge, maybe towards New Orleans. Kind of what we're looking at with the biggest threat. And then the other risk here stretches all the way up here into even areas of southern Illinois and southern Indiana, also included with this risk, which is actually kind of crazy. It's going up pretty high up north for the most part. But anyways, we're going to switch on back here to the radar view towards Dallas. Like I said, we are having a little bit of lightning detection. You can see the satellite view on the right-hand side. There is a bit of thunderstorm activity that is starting to kick off here. Like I said, right now at the current moment, there is not any active warning regarding such, which is definitely good news. But I'll tell you what. We're going to go ahead and switch on over here, guys, to the future radar. We're going to take a look and see what conditions could look like down here in the future. Definitely something we should consider watching here. The model's kind of showing a bit of activity happening right about now, at least over the next hour or so. So let's go ahead and switch on over here, guys, to the model. We have the radar on the top right if you guys want to follow along. I just noticed that little logo is not positioned correctly. Let's actually move that over a little bit. But there we go. So like I said, we have that little thunderstorm is moving through, and we take a look here at the future radar based off of the NAM 3-kilometer model here. So the time is in the top right if you want to follow along here, showing 2 o'clock. Obviously, it's past 2 o'clock at this point. This is going off of Eastern time, by the way. So obviously the current time in Eastern is 7 o'clock. So this is 6 o'clock for you guys. So the thunderstorms start to kick off, in which we can actually see already kicking off over there on the far right. That's the actual radar view right now. So we track our way down here even further into tonight. You notice how there's a boundary kind of undercutting a bunch of upper level thunderstorms, essentially. So you can kind of see that right there. There's a lot of thunderstorm activity, but the boundary is basically slicing right under it. So what's going to be happening tonight is there's going to be the possibility of a few possible severe thunderstorms along that boundary that's starting to kick off here, possibly throwing the possibility for maybe a few isolated tornadoes, maybe some damaging wind gusts, kind of what the Storm Prediction Center had to say here. So overall, that's kind of what we're looking at. Obviously, a lot of advection, a lot of this Thunderstorm activity really starts kicking off here starting really tomorrow morning. But then look what happens tomorrow evening. Late tomorrow afternoon, early tomorrow evening. We get a well-defined line stretching all the way from eastern Texas, really kicking up in through areas of Louisiana, portions of Arkansas, through Mississippi, through western portions of Kentucky and western Tennessee here. I mean, look at that line. Y'all see that? That is just absolutely nasty looking. That's a very, very nasty squall line. So, obviously, the main concerns out of this here, like I said, the main problem here that we have out of this system is obviously the tornado probability. We actually have ourselves a tornado risk here. I actually did not break that down for you guys for tomorrow's risk. We actually have ourselves a level 2 out of 5 for tornadoes. We have a 5% region here across the southeast. So, obviously, there, Louisiana, southeastern Arkansas, Mississippi. Kind of those are the regions where the most tornadic activity could be possible for tomorrow. But anyways, like I said, that's what that going on there. We switch on back here over to the future radar. Like I said, obviously, there is a possibility here of some nighttime tornadoes. And like I said, obviously, tornadoes at nighttime is not something you want to have because obviously the visibility is near zero, essentially. You really cannot see that far at night. Which is a concern. So meaning that if there was theoretically a tornado on the ground, it would be very difficult to spot. And like I said, there's something called a rain-wrapped tornado, and that's going to be a possibility here for tomorrow. Is obviously tornadoes will be happening at night, but there's also something called rain wrapping, which is essentially the tornado, just a normal tornado, but it's stuck right in the middle of that heavy precipitation. So basically what's happening is you get these rain curtains, heavy rain starts falling all around the tornado, and it gets wrapped into the tornado, making the visibilities zero. It basically looks like it's foggy, but in reality, there's a tornado behind it. So that's kind of the thing. It's very difficult to spot those rain-wrapped tornadoes, and plus with them being there for nighttime. Like I said, obviously that's kind of a concern here. I mean, look at this. This is for 2 o'clock in the morning here on Thursday, and we are still seeing a very well-defined linear system here, according to the NAM 3-kilometer model. So obviously that is a little bit concerning to look at. But like I said, it's not just the severe weather that's a problem on this thing. I mean, we also have the threat for some snow even. The snow possibly could start across areas in Oklahoma, which we can look there. You can see how, a little bit of snow possible for north central Oklahoma could be a possibility. Moving through eastern Kansas, really started to kick off here in Iowa. As you can see, a lot of dark blues starting to pop up. That's obviously in the fields of showing some very heavy snowfall, which could lead to rapid accumulations here being possible. Tracking its way up here to the northeast through Wisconsin, very, very heavily impacted here. Possibly areas in northwestern Illinois might be able to see a bit of snow for the extreme northwestern side. The only problem is that this low pressure system we're watching is expected to be pivoted right over Illinois. And what essentially happens is all this warm air, a bunch of warm air just rushes into the north, basically from the Gulf of Mexico into the right-hand side of the system. So that keeps things warm and obviously prevents any snow from happening, essentially. Now, the opposite happens on the backside as we get, counterclockwise rotation. We get ourselves a bit of cool air starting to back in from the back, which is creating all of this to be turned into, winter precipitation. So that's kind of what we are looking at. So that is indeed what we're seeing here. So anyways, we track our way down here further. Obviously, areas of Michigan kind of been ruled out here in the latest. Kind of showing the possibility here from the NAM 3-kilometer model that we might be seeing a bit of ice, potentially maybe some freezing rain and sleet possibilities, there towards areas of, Michigan. That could be a probability, something we probably should watch out for as that low pressure system kicks its way up here to the northeast. Let's go ahead and see here. So Cube is wanting to know about Indiana severe weather. So there is a possibility that Indiana could see maybe a few severe storms. And let me go ahead and show you exactly, essentially how. And we're going to switch over here. I guess the best view to look at is... You know what? I'll tell you what. We're going to switch over here really quickly, and I'm going to go ahead and pull up a different website, because I know there's a website that I have that can really zoom in towards that location for you to really kind of show you what we're talking about. So let's go ahead and switch on over to that here right now. So switching on over, my friends. Like I said, here we go. There is, Indiana. Tracking our way down here through time, obviously, as we move our way in. The storm system starts driving some rain, but look at this. A little cold front moves through, as you can see right around in there. So that's obviously where that, that thunderstorm activity is possibly going to be at, there for portions of, Indiana. Kind of showing around the early morning hours, though, on Thursday, from what it looks like. It's going to likely be a nighttime thing. And then, like I said, if we take a look here back over at the Storm Prediction Center, they do actually have a risk for areas in southern Indiana, very far southern. I mean, literally the most southern tip of Indiana is at the highest point of where severe weather could be possible, essentially. So that's kind of that. And like I said, for the friends just now joining us, like I said, we have a big risk here tomorrow. Tomorrow's the really big day. And like I said, obviously, if you're across the yellow zone, stretching a lot of Louisiana, southeastern Arkansas, throughout portions here of western, like I said, obviously they're towards western and central Mississippi and those surrounding areas. Like I said, that's kind of where the big threat is here for tomorrow, which is something we're going to watch out for. Let's see here, Mr. Install with the Tropical Stormer Club. Well, thank you so much there, Mr. Install. Thank you for being a member on the channel. Double thumbs up goes to you. Thank you so much for that. But like I said, obviously, that yellow area we were talking about, that's kind of the big thing for tomorrow. That's kind of the big deal here. And like I said, there is a pretty decent tornado probability here, a 5% chance, which might not sound like much, but every 25 miles in that brown area, it repeats itself. So essentially, there's a pretty decent chance we could see several tornadoes tomorrow. It's definitely a possibility. And like I said, another reason we're live tonight, there's a little marginal risk here, very itty-bitty little risk there. But it does have the possibility for maybe a tornado or two, possible here for tonight. Maybe some damaging winds associated with it as well. I really wanted to go live here tonight to talk a little bit about this, but also in order to tell you what's expected here for tomorrow. And like I said, obviously tomorrow is, once again, the big day. We move into Thursday. There's also a risk here for, thunderstorm activity here, severe thunderstorm activity possibly there towards the panhandle of Florida, southern Alabama, southwestern Georgia. So that's kind of what we're seeing there. So once again, we have ourselves another risk here for Thursday, which definitely does seem possible. Anyways, moving on back here to the current radar view. Like I said, this is currently what is kicking right here at the moment. Like I said, right now we are seeing a bit of thunderstorm activity. There's a bit of lightning detection going on here south of Dallas. We are seeing that kicking off here right now. Bit of thunderstorm activity. This is all tracking its way up here to the northeast as we go ahead and play this in time. You can see the time up here in the top right. So basically what's going on here is we have all of that thunderstorm activity tracking its way up here to the northeast. Now, eventually this could be scraping the outskirts of Dallas. You see these little lightning bolts right there? That's obviously showing us that there has been some lightning detection. So obviously this is obviously a thunderstorm that's kicking off here. But like I said, for Dallas specifically, there's no severe weather risk, so Dallas should not be worried about that in particular storm that's going on there. It'll just be your normal thunderstorm out of this one, but like I said, areas to the south have got to watch a little bit more as there is a severe weather risk here for tonight, as we just were talking about. So let's go ahead and switch this over here. That was for tomorrow's risk we have turned on. Let's go ahead and turn on today's risk. So we have a marginal risk here. So that little green area, you see this green circle right here? This is basically the zones where severe weather is possible tonight. Obviously, the sun's now going down here. I mean, like I said, we have a live camera right now in Dallas, and you can see how it's pretty hazy. The cloud tops are literally lower than the tops of the skyscrapers here. So those cloud tops, are the ceilings, what we call it, is pretty low. So obviously with that going on there, very, very hazy. Obviously you can see the sun starting to set here, which throws out the possibility, or throws a little bit more of a concern, for the severe storms tonight. But like I said, overall, we have a little threat. Like I said, it's not the biggest thing in the world, obviously. But like I said, Houston's included with this area. Victoria is possible here. College Station is there. Palestine here is also inside of that risk area. So, like I said, the marginal risk here, basically just talking about maybe a few isolated tornadoes, maybe a tornado or two could be possible there. And like I said, if a tornado warning pops up, you'll be the first to know it here, because I have this live up to date. So everything on this program here is live and right up to date here. So that's good. So that way that I can, keep you guys informed and make sure that you guys are ready for this event here. Like I said, tomorrow, tomorrow's the big day. And like I said, we got to be preparing for tomorrow. And once again, like I said, if you're across these areas we just talked about, we'll go ahead and switch on back here for the new viewers. Like I said, obviously here in eastern Texas, there's that little threat for today, which is not a big deal. Monitor it, every once in a while. It's nothing you should stare at a TV and watch for over and over. No, it's not too bad. But tomorrow's is a little bit different. We have another higher risk here, and obviously the duration or the coverage of it is a lot larger, which makes the probability overall of severe weather happening pretty high, actually. So overall, like I said, if you are across portions of eastern Texas, throughout central and eastern Arkansas, southeastern Missouri, southern Illinois, southern Indiana, western Kentucky, central and western Tennessee, Areas here in central and western Alabama and the far western panhandle as areas such as Pensacola. Those areas are at risk for tomorrow for a few severe storms. And like I said, tomorrow's risk is pretty brutal. I wouldn't say it's extreme, but it's a pretty decent risk here. 5% tornado probability there for that area in the brown. That's where the biggest tornado risk here is for tomorrow. That's where we're going to be really watching out for possible tornadoes. But tornadoes are possible really anywhere near this, dark green and that brown shaded color. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Damaging wind probabilities is a thing as well. Kind of the biggest concern tomorrow is damaging wind possibilities, followed by that tornado threat here, and also hail is a possibility, but more for the western risk areas here, as you can see. So, like I said, that's kind of what we're looking at. That is indeed what we are seeing here. So, let's see. I hope everyone is having a great night, says Mr. Install. You too. Once again, thank you, by the way, for becoming a member. Greatly appreciated. You absolutely rock, my friend. But that's going on there. Like I said, we have the satellite view on the right-hand side. You see that thunderstorm activity starting to kick off here, especially just south of Dallas. Like I said, we'll actually go ahead and show you this. So you see on the right-hand side where my little cursor's at, that is Dallas right there. That is Dallas-Fort Worth. This is Fort Worth over here. That's Dallas. So essentially, what is going on here right now? Like I said, you see these big old top clouds that are really starting to puff up here. Those are cumulonimbus clouds. Like I said, those big old towers that you see, those big towering clouds. That right there, obviously, is those thunderstorms starting to kick off here. And like I said, there has been lightning detection here. I mean, like I said, literally, we take a look at the radar right now, and you can see where that thunderstorm is located, directly just south of Dallas. So, like I said, this is going to be moving up towards Dallas here. Obviously, maybe driving a little bit of thunder and lightning, which could be possible here. But like I said, this thing's tracking relatively to the north. But essentially, that's kind of what we are seeing here. That is what we are looking at. So, let's see. I got a little ding that went on here. That's another thing we got is also this. We also have this adding it to the stream here. If I go ahead and show you real quick. So we have this big list here. And essentially, this will keep us up to date with every single obviously, in a local area, every single warning and watch that gets issued. And then obviously we'll hear it on the background with the radio, which I'm sure you can hear right now. So that will come through and it'll let us know what the tornado warnings. Plus the program that we're watching here will pop up individual polygons showing us where the warning area is. We can zoom into said area and we can tell you exactly what towns are included. So like I said, if you want to stay up to date with the latest info, my friends, like I said, consider hitting that subscribe button. Be greatly appreciated, my friends. Like I said, it'll keep you guys up to date. It'll help everybody out and it'll be just overall a good thing. Let's see here. Xavier says, what's up? I'm in New York. Weather is cold up here. Well, I definitely hear you with that. Good news is you don't have to deal with any of this severe weather, which is, going to be pretty interesting here for tomorrow. It's definitely something we definitely do need to be watching out here for. Anyway, so I tell you what, guys, we're going to switch on over here to more of a localized view. So we're gonna break this down a little bit more for you guys. So doing that here right now. So here we go. So this is the RAP model. We call this the RAP model stands for rapid refresh, essentially. Basically just rapid refresh model. So this updates every 3 hours. We get a new run. Basically the computers run every 3 hours and run all the weather equations in the atmosphere and stuff like that. What this thing is basically doing is predicting the future, or basically, projecting the future. Like I said, these models are not perfect, by the way. Like I said, I will mention right now as a disclaimer, but I will tell you, that is kind of what we're looking at. You see all of that blue starting to pull its way up here into the country. You know what that is? That is all energy. That is all like thunderstorm fuel. All of that blue stuff that you see there is going to be producing some pretty, obviously some pretty, potentially violent systems, potentially violent thunderstorms, violent thunderstorms here. So like I said, obviously areas here towards, eastern Texas, kicking up there through Louisiana, really here for like tomorrow afternoon, we're going to get a lot of energy starting to kick its way up here throughout these regions, which is definitely crazy. Southern Arkansas, obviously cutting up there through, Mississippi as well. So like I said, that's showing us right there that we are looking at a lot of fuel. Think of it, like I said, I like to compare this to the fuel in your gas tank. Obviously in your car, if you don't have any fuel, you're not going anywhere. Think of that as the same with storms. If you have fuel, if you don't have fuel, you're not going to get anywhere. These storms are not going to fire off. But we have the fuel, so thunderstorms are all fueled up and ready to go here for tomorrow. That's essentially what this model is telling us. So, and then there's another thing we have to look at here. Basically the winds, basically towards close to the ground, a couple thousand feet up, about a kilometer up or so. So these winds are rushing to the north. They are screaming directly to the north. And what that means is that there is a lot of warm air pulling in from the Gulf of Mexico into the south, and you're going to notice those temperatures increase. They are going to skyrocket across portions of the south. You're going to notice them probably in the 70s, which is going to be pretty nice until you get that cold front. It's going to storm, and then it's going to get cold again, essentially. That's how these systems work. It's just kind of crazy. So overall, like I said, here towards the ground, those winds are screaming to the north. They are moving quick to the north. Now, as you go up in the atmosphere, you notice how those little wind, those little what we call wind barbs are changing their direction and kind of moving more to the northeast. So obviously, there is a bit of wind directional change as you go up in elevation. So as you're at the ground, winds are moving north. As you go way up, they turn to the northeast. And that's obviously creating the steering motion for thunderstorms to potentially allow them to go tornadic. Obviously, that's why we have that tornado risk there. It's the mixture of that fuel we were talking about and the mixture of those winds really showing all of that activity coming together. So like I said, everything is in line here. There is one more thing that we really like to look at here for thunderstorm activity, which that's in the form of that lower level moisture. We look at dew points. I know some of you guys have probably heard the term dew point before. So these dew points have to be in the 60s and 70s. Upper 50s sometimes will work, but typically in the 60s and 70s think of that as perfect. And we just have that. That is basically going to be supplying these thunderstorms with a lot of moisture, and this is going to be supplying those thunderstorms for the potential even of tornadoes. So like I said, you have to have those dew points here in the 60s and 70s for tornadoes to happen most of the time, as well as, like I said, all the other components we just talked about mixed together. So overall, like I said, things are in line. Things are looking pretty good for tomorrow, and that's what I'm saying. So we really have got to be on alert here for tomorrow. Like I said, we're going to be going live here tomorrow at some point. I'm not exactly sure what time we're going to start. We can actually figure that out here right about now. So let's go ahead and switch over here to the timing again. We're going to take a look at the southern plains. We're going to switch over to that here right now. So the timing of the system here that we're going to talk about. So obviously we move into tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, afternoon, 12 o'clock there. So what it looks like is these storms are going to really probably start firing off here maybe around as early as 3. Maybe around 3 to 5 is kind of what I'm looking at. Possibly when we're going to be going live. I'm probably going to go live a little earlier. I'm thinking maybe around 2 or 3 o'clock Eastern, which would be 1 or 2 o'clock Central. So that's kind of when I'm probably going to go live. And look at this. That whole line of storms will continue all throughout the midnight hours for Thursday. Moving into Thursday. You see that nasty line there? Like I said, that is a whole line of thunderstorms. That whole thing is just a big line of a thunderstorm wall, essentially. It's just a big wall of thunderstorms that's pushing through these areas. In which, like I said, obviously that's kind of concerning. And like I said, that's where the severe weather risk is as well. And like I said, you note how these times right here, you can see where that I circled up there, how that's around midnight. And obviously the sun is down at this point. And like I said, there's a tornado risk for this time tomorrow, essentially. And like I said, with it being dark outside, that's what we call nocturnal tornado possibilities, where there is obviously the chance for active tornadoes at nighttime. And like I said, obviously that's a big concern because, first of all, people tend to go to bed at night, obviously. People may not stay up to date with this. They might not stay alert with it. And that's why we heavily suggest getting a weather radio. I'm not sponsored by anyone. I'm just seriously wanting to say I recommend getting a weather radio because that will help alert you in case if a warning is issued for your area. Another thing is, like I said, when we're live, we are able to show you what is going on, what the insides of the thunderstorms look like, basically all the warnings that are active, which areas are included, all of that fun stuff. And like I said, we have that availability here in order to tell you guys essentially what is going on. So, but like I said, that's what we're looking at. That is indeed what we are seeing here. Like I said, it brings that nighttime tornado threat. And like I said, there's another probability or another possibility here, I should say, of what we call rain-wrapped tornadoes. Like I said, basically what that is essentially, you have these tornadoes that's right there in the middle of that heavy rain. And basically what happens is that all of that heavy rain starts wrapping its way around the tornado. And essentially what that does is create a zero visibility environment where you cannot see the tornado at all. And it just might look like fog or just heavy rain, but little do you know behind it, there's probably a tornado. And that's kind of the tornado possibility for tomorrow, is a nighttime and a very difficult to spot tornado event here. So like I said, that's kind of that's the big thing, and that's that's the good thing about radar, is that we can see right through these systems with velocity mode here, looking for rotation in order to detect them even at nighttime. So that's how we can tell if there's a tornado on the ground. Trust me, we definitely got the availability here. So let's see here. Mr. Install says, is Ohio at risk for severe storms? So moving back here over to the Storm Prediction Center, we take a look at this right now. So Ohio is not at risk for severe storms. The highest point where the severe storms are possible is basically southern Illinois and southern Indiana, essentially. So you see right there, that little green, that dark green marker, that is where the severe weather risk ends here, essentially. So like I said, if you guys are across essentially these areas, I'm roughly circling here, if you are across those areas inside here, you are at risk for severe thunderstorms. And like I said, obviously there's another side of the storm as well. Snow is going to be a big potential, towards like Missouri, Iowa, Wisconsin, upper state of Michigan region. Snow is going to be a big thing for those people, and severe storms are going to be a big thing for these people down here. But like I was saying though, so basically, like I said, there's two different levels tomorrow. There's a slight risk and a marginal risk here. Now, you might not understand the difference, and I'm going to go ahead and explain that to you. It's pretty simple. So the dark green here is your level 1 out of 5. Think of the higher the number, the more severe it gets. This is a level 1, the bare minimum requirements for thunderstorm severe thunderstorm activity. Then we have a level 2. Now, level 2, like I said, typically is not that bad, although this is primarily for the tornado possibility. And like I said, honestly, if you were to ask me, I say that this could probably be expanded. That's what I think. That's my personal opinion. Take that how you want. But like I said, that's a level 2 out of 5. But the problem, the thing that really gets me is the fact of how large this severe weather possibility is for tomorrow. I mean, this covers a very large, large distance here. I mean, seriously, this is probably at least 600 miles or so from top to bottom, and at least 400 or 500 miles from west to east. So like I said, this covers a lot of people. And actually, we are talking about 25 million people being impacted by this severe potential. And like I said, the reason I know that exact number is because I'm going to go ahead and show you before you ask where the source is. I can show you right here, directly from the Storm Prediction Center. Population in the slight risk area, about 6 million people. Marginal risk here, about 20 million people. So basically, actually, almost, literally about 26 million, actually, a little bit more than that, which is pretty interesting. So like I said, that is the big thing here. The most impacted areas here for this risk here, the populated areas, I should say, across the yellow does include New Orleans. So if you're in these areas, listen up. New Orleans, if you know anyone as well, let them know. New Orleans, Baton Rouge. We have Jackson. We have, let's see here, Lafayette, Louisiana. Those areas are kind of the big, obviously Jackson, Mississippi is there in that region. So, like I said, Jackson, Mississippi, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We have New Orleans as well. That's kind of what we're talking about. So that's what we are seeing. So overall, like those areas have got to be really keeping an eye out for things. Let's see here. Do I think that Killeen, Texas is possible for severe weather? So let's see here. So Killeen, I'm going to pull this up for you. I'm going to switch over back here to my main view. So this is right across areas here. Okay, there's Killeen. Tomorrow's risk, I don't think includes you. Let's see. Let me actually switch over to this. Yeah, it does not, because I forgot, or I remember now, that basically eastern Texas for tomorrow's risk is the only areas that's at risk here. So yeah, you, my friend, are not at risk for any severe storm. So you're good. You're good. Let's see here. What's the difference between... Daytime Dreaming says, what is the temperature difference in front of the storm line and the back of it? So basically on the front line here, we can see how the temperature is getting about 65. Obviously not all of it 65. We'll just say mid-60s essentially. And where the cold air is starting to pull in here, you can kind of see how we're talking a big difference there into the mid-upper 40s. So there's a big difference. Basically where that cold front is right now, if we were to take these little vectors, you can see how the ones that are moving towards Dallas and the ones that are moving down past Dallas, you see how they're kind of coming at each other? Basically that middle ground is right there over Waco and these areas here. That's essentially where the thunderstorms are kicking off there. That's right where the boundary is located. So, yeah, that's the cold front right there. This is all warm air. This is all cooler air, and they're basically colliding right in here just south of Dallas and creating some thunderstorm activity. And like I said, we take a look at that right now. You can see those thunderstorms firing off here, especially towards like Corsicana. It looks like it's starting to really kick up there, at least in the latest frames. Let's see here. Do I think that there could be a level 3 out of 5 tomorrow or not? If you want to know my honest opinion, I think it is a good possibility. I think we could see a level 2 out of 5, or sorry, level 3 out of 5 for tomorrow. I'm not going to go with a for sure thing. Obviously, I'm not the Storm Prediction Center, but I can tell you that, between what I've seen with the models, there's a very strong low-level jet stream. Those winds towards the ground, screaming north. And we have a lot of energy, like I said, basically the storm's fuel. All of that is in place here for tomorrow. So I do believe that we might have a little area that might be highlighted in enhanced, which is the level 3 out of 5. Like I said, that's a pretty big deal. So that's a possibility. I'm going to throw a big possibility out of that. If I was to give it a percentage, I would literally call it a 50-50 shot. I would basically call it a 50-50 shot of it turning into an enhanced. Anything greater, like a moderate or high, I believe is off the table. I don't think that is going to be even a concern when it comes to this event here. I think it's going to be capping out maximum at enhanced, possibly. That's what I think. But once again, that's my opinion. Take that how you want to take it. But anyways, like I said, right now, thunderstorm activity is starting to kick off here. Once again, we do not have any, any active warnings on this here at the moment, which is good. But like I said, tonight, I forgot, we're talking a lot about tomorrow. There's actually a little risk here for tonight. Back over to the storm prediction, that little green area, that little marginal risk there, that is for today. There is a little risk for severe storms across portions of east central Texas. There is a possibility for a tornado or two happening. Like I said, once again, it's not the biggest deal in the world here for today. Tomorrow's the more of the day we got to be really watching out for. But tonight, I wanted to go live here just to talk to you guys about this as well. So a little 5% damaging wind possibility, no hail. So the only concerns here is maybe some localized damaging wind gusts and maybe an isolated tornado or two. Theoretically could be possible across those regions. And once again, that does include areas here in eastern Texas. I mean, if I take a look here over at today's risk here, let's switch to day one outlook on. Like I said, basically that's it right there. That little circle you see right there, that is today's risk. But Houston, Houston is inside of it. Houston is inside of that risk there. So, like I said, if you're near the Houston area, if you know anyone near the Houston area, you should let them know. Just say, hey, there's a bit of thunderstorms, possibly strong to severe, that could happen today. Maybe some damaging wind gusts could be possible nearby, and maybe a tornado could happen somewhere in that area. Like I said, it may be. It's not even a for sure thing, but we have that tornado risk out there just as a little cover here, essentially. Because like I said, the environment is not heavily primed for tornadoes right now, but obviously the conditions, theoretically could produce a few of them. We actually take a look at the current conditions right now. Here's the meso analysis, basically looking at current conditions right at the moment. We take a look here towards the ground. We have those winds directly moving in. Like I said, we have those strong winds that are screaming into the north here at about 20 miles an hour, which is pretty slow. Like I said, that's pretty slow. Obviously, that's not really a big deal. We'll see about 20, 30 miles an hour is kind of what we're talking about here. I'd say probably 25 to 35 miles an hour of these winds here, about a couple thousand feet up, screaming to the north, which, like I said, that northerly component is required for tornadoes. So, I'm not saying that it's impossible. The upper levels of the atmosphere, those wind direction changes to the northeast. So, yeah, so obviously the winds are in place. Wind direction and wind speed, the wind direction is definitely in place. The wind speed is kind of weak towards the ground. So, if a tornado was to happen, it would likely be weak. Just saying. Because, like I said, the environment here right now is really not too crazy. But like I said, we take this down in the future. Like I said, with tomorrow's event, like I said, we were seeing about 25 to 35 mile an hour winds here, about 1,000 or so feet up here. Tomorrow's risk, some of those areas possibly could get up to 35 to 45, which, like I said, in that sense, it's a little stronger. So those winds here, coming from the Gulf of Mexico, I think this is warm and hot ocean water, or, water essentially. And all of this is going to be driving its way up into the country, increasing the temperatures across the southeast, pulling up that humidity as well. And like I said, increasing the wind speeds here across, the areas of the southeast. A couple thousand feet up, like I said, that is a big factor for tornadoes, and it is in place. And like I said, as a matter of fact, like I said, everything, for tornado formation does seem to be in place by some degree for tomorrow, in which that is something that we should watch here. Jonathan says, I will be back tomorrow. All right, sounds good. See you later, Jonathan. Like I said, once again, if you guys have any questions throughout this, feel free to let me know, guys. Like I said, seriously, your safety is the most important thing here, and obviously, whatever we can do to help, seriously, let me know. If there's an area you are worried about, if there's an area you're questioning about here, they just now issued a new marginal risk here. If there's an area that you're, worried about or something like that, like I said, just feel free to let me know. Tell me which area that you're, worried about here, and we'll look it up here on the map, and we'll show you exactly what you can expect here over the next few days. Like I said, obviously, at that degree, I really care for y'all's safety. I want to make sure that you guys are staying on top of this event here, okay? But anyways, but that's that. So yeah, there has apparently been a new risk issued here. Like I said, we have ourselves that marginal risk here that's across portions of eastern Texas. They apparently just now have updated it. Let's see. Die Hair says, what do I think about next week's event? I really have not, dove into anything past this as of right now. Like I said, obviously, we're kind of really paying attention to what's happening now versus in the future. Now, as this event ends and the next event, if there is one that pops up, we'll go over all that stuff. But like I said, I typically don't like to forecast even 5 days out or so. I mean, anything past 5 days is just pretty, you really can't trust it too much, essentially. But anyways, like I said, thunderstorm activity is kicking across areas here south of Dallas. Like I said, there is Dallas right there. Thunderstorm activity is starting to kick up here across areas of southern or just south of Dallas here. Like I said, right there, especially towards like Corsicana. Bit of thunder, and lightning activity that is obviously being reported over there. So there's a bit of thunderstorm activity going on there. Now, all of this is moving its way up here to the northeast, essentially. This is tracking. You can kind of see it slowly moving to the northeast, essentially. Now, this might cause some rain for areas near Dallas, especially east of Dallas, towards like maybe Terrell, Wills Point, Cedar Grove, starting to see some of that activity here right now. But like I said, I mean, that's kind of what we are, kind of what we're looking at here at the moment. And then, like I said, you can take a look at the satellite view, literally just to the right, all the way over there. And you see those big old puffy clouds that's starting to pop up? Like I said, you see all these guys right there? These are all cumulonimbus clouds here. And like I said, obviously, these are the big thunderstorm clouds that's kicking off right now. And like I said, obviously, that is where, the activity is starting. Like I said, this is the beginning of the event. Today's the first day, or tonight's the first night. Kicks all through tomorrow. Tomorrow's the big day. We got to really be on the lookout tomorrow. Thursday, that's a monitoring thing. Still need to pay attention for Thursday because more thunderstorms could be possible across the far east, towards Florida, Georgia area. So we'll watch out for that. But we'll see it. Proxy says, Andrew, thank you for thank you for all the help offering to those us who are asking. Info provided with compassion is the best kind. No problem, Proxy. No problem at all. Let's see. God bless you for the live weather. You are very welcome, my friends. Let's see. Thank you for being here for all of us. I definitely appreciate you. Like I said, everybody, I am here for you all, no matter what. Like I said, it's the least I could do for you guys. I really just enjoyed tracking the weather. I've always loved it. And like I said, obviously, if there's anything that, we can do to help out, if there's anything I can do to help out, I'm down for it. Like I said, obviously, I want to see you guys good to go. I want to see you guys prepared. I want to see you guys ready for this. Obviously, the goal of this channel is to help save as many lives as possible. That's the big thing of this channel. And like I said, we try to keep everything, the mixture of balance, keeping everything, nice and clear for you guys. That way you guys understand what we're talking about and stuff like that. I'm not trying to make anything difficult. I'm trying to make everything very easy to access. And that's obviously what I'm doing here. Let's see. How long will I be live tonight? I honestly do not know. I really don't know. I'm kind of just seeing here if there's any activity going to pop up here soon. Like I said, with any thunderstorm activity. Let's see here. Javier with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much for that, Javier. Greatly appreciated. With the little keep it up sticker. Seriously, thank you guys. That's super nice of you. Big shout out goes to Javier. Thank you once again. But like I said, we're watching here to see if there is any severe thunderstorm activity getting ready to pop up or anything like that. Because like I said, I mean, tonight's not the big night. Like I said, I'm going to clear that right now. But there is still a threat for tonight. And like I said, you can see little lightning indicators there. That's showing that there is obviously thunderstorm activity that's happening right now. So, but like I said, that's right here towards Waco too. Waco, I believe, is a pretty populated area. Area's just north of Waco, kind of towards like Lacey Lakeview towards Ross, along Interstate 35. That's kind of where we're seeing a little bit of thunderstorm activity. But like I said, Corsicana, that area looks like they're getting pounded. I mean, look at that. That orange and red stuff, that's showing us that we were looking at a lot of heavy precipitation, regarding some pretty moderate heavy rainfall, essentially. So there's a lot of heavy stuff falling here towards Corsicana, which if you don't know where that's at, it's just south of Dallas, essentially. And like I said, we play the radar view here. I mean, it looks like it's growing here, towards Corsicana. You see how it's becoming more of a line type of shape? It's a little interesting. But like I said, Corsicana, yep, you guys are about to get it here soon. I mean, if you're not already. Like I said, what's really crazy, what someone was telling me earlier to look at the temperature difference. Like I said, we go here in southern Oklahoma, the temperature is 45 degrees. Basically, there's a lot of cool air. There's a decent amount of cool air that's basically driving its way down here from the north to the south. And then we take a look at the south, and we have a lot of warm air pulling up from the Gulf of Mexico. And look at this, temperature is about 70. So really, like under a couple hundred miles or so, the temperature drastically changes, which is just pretty crazy to look at. But like I said, we have a lot of warm air pulling up here. Like I said, here towards Houston. It's actually pretty nice right now in Houston. 70 degrees for this time of the night. Almost 7 o'clock local. Not too bad. Really is not too bad. And you're going to notice it's going to be pretty humid too. But like I said, once that line pushes through, I mean, look at this even. Right here towards Mexa, we have 66 degrees. And up here, basically behind the front, we have 53. So that's literally more than a 10-degree drop, and in as little as that has to be at least 40 miles, probably 40 miles or so between the two. Like I said, that's obviously kind of the thing there. So, like I said, that's kind of what I'm looking at. Let's see. Scottman has a question saying, I live 75 miles east of Chattanooga, Tennessee. Okay. And we are predicted to get the main cold front passing through on Thursday, but no cold air till Saturday. Why such a delay between the two? So basically what happens is it's on a slope. So it takes time. It takes time for that cool air to ease in, essentially. So obviously it's not a... Okay, I'm going to try to explain this. So basically it's not a brick wall where it's cold and it's warm, even though it might seem like that. Some fronts are, but typically they're like this. So where it's, obviously cool and then it's warm. So or it's warm, then it's cool. So basically it takes time for that cool air to move in here. Anyways, let's see here. But that's for that. But yeah, for Chattanooga though, just as a little look for you. I know you didn't ask for it, but just a little look for you. It does not look like you're at risk for any thunderstorms. Chattanooga is right here in eastern Tennessee. I actually passed through Chattanooga last week. I came up from Florida. I was visiting family for about 3 months. Came up here back to Kentucky where I'm at, where I live. And like I said, I mean, but what's good though is that you're not at risk here, which is good. However, like I said, there is areas in Tennessee that's at risk for severe storms. Like I said, tomorrow, like I said, for central and western, this does include Memphis. Okay, this includes Memphis. This does include Nashville as well. So keep that in mind. Also, a little higher up north, western Kentucky, they're towards Bowling Green. I don't know if you guys have heard of that area. Bowling Green's at risk here. Southern Indiana, southern Illinois, southeastern Missouri, literally directly just south. That little dip right there. That's St. Louis. South of St. Louis, 100 miles or so south of St. Louis. That's where that severe weather risk starts up again. Then obviously we have areas in eastern Texas, Louisiana, Jackson, Mississippi is probably one of the big cities we need to watch out tomorrow. Because like I said, Jackson is right there in that slight risk, the big risk for tomorrow. So that's an area we should watch. That is an area we should indeed watch. But like I said, once again, everybody, if there's anything that we can do, if there's any question you have, guys, throw it down in the chat. Like I said, we're here for you. Want to make sure that you guys are staying up on top of this here. Like I said, we care about y'all. We want to make sure you guys are staying safe there and all of that fun stuff. But like I said, if there's anything else, let me know. Like I said, we're probably going to be live here for a little bit tonight. I want to be here for a while. That way we can, the new viewers joining us, that way they understand to get as many people as aware as possible. And if you guys would like to help out by this, by sharing this with your friends and family and telling them to distribute it too, that would be greatly appreciated. And honestly, it would be an honor if you guys could do that. Because like I said, obviously, the more lives we could reach out to, even if you don't know anybody near these areas that's at risk, maybe your friends and family know people who live near here. And so it's a good thing, just to pass it on, pass on the word, like a big game of telephone. Just tell your friends to tell your friends, tell your friends to tell your friends' friends, You get the point. So obviously, we'll bring as many people in here, not for me, but for the safety of all of you. That is the thing here. Like I said, not just as a safety for all of you, essentially. But anyways, let's see. Mark is here. What's up, Mark? Hope you're doing good. Glad to have you here. Let's see. Ben Joy says, Andrew, do I think the warning will be upgraded? You mean the risk here? The Storm Prediction Center risk? I believe it's possible we could get an enhanced risk here. Like I said, this is another level up. I think it's going to be a big possibility. Once again, I say probably a 50-50 shot, so it's likely-ish. So we will see. I think it's possible. Like I said, I mean, we looked at the models and all that fun stuff. I mean, it's been... like I said, the models are very supportive of it. You know, there's a lot of energy. And like I said, we take a look back at that right now. Back here at the overall energy, you know, you see all that blue and that kind of really bright pink that you guys see? All of that is basically thunderstorm fuel. And like I said, what that means is basically, I love to compare this to a car and its gas tank. If you don't have any gas in your car, the car's not going anywhere. But if you have gas in your car, then like I said, you're going to get places. And that's the same thing with this. That blue and pink you see right there, that right there, guys, is all of the storm's fuel that is available for tomorrow. We can see all of that really starts rushing in from the Gulf of Mexico down here where it's all warm and, you know, there's a lot of water vapor and all that stuff. And all that starts pushing up to the north. And like I said, with that being said, that is going to be allowing for all of the energy requirements, all the energy needs for these thunderstorms to be available. So that's something you gotta watch out for. And then, like I said, there's another factor is basically winds. You know, winds. You guys know what winds are. Like I said, basically a couple thousand feet up. You know, we'll take this about a kilometer up or so for the conversion. You know, a couple thousand feet, kilometer up or so. This is where we have the winds screaming to the north. I mean, they are absolutely moving to the north here. Probably about 45, 50 miles an hour or so. Essentially, I say probably 35 miles an hour or so for tomorrow. Anyways, but like I said, obviously, you know, 35, 45 miles an hour. I mean, they're moving. Like I said, obviously, you know, screaming here to the north. And with that being said, we have a bunch of that warm air pulling in. And like I said, as you go up in the atmosphere, you know, as you go up with altitude, you're going to notice how the wind direction changes from the north kind of to the northeast. So there is a wind directional difference. You see that? How it starts off at the surface, moving north. You go up in elevation, and it turns to the northeast. And like I said, that's going to create that spin, throwing that tornado probability. And like I said, there's actually something called a trough, which is just a big kink, a big dip in the jet stream. And you can actually see the trough right here, how it changes directions dramatically. That's basically the big low pressure system. That's the big engine of all of this, which is pretty crazy. It's awesome. It's just really awesome to see how these systems work. I mean, just as a little explanation for you guys, you see that that little trough right there? So we call we call a trough. But like I said, you know, how these systems work here, it's just amazing. I mean, we have a low pressure system, basically the engine of everything. We got a whole bunch of warm air that's just rushing up to the north from the Gulf of Mexico, where it's obviously a lot warmer, a lot of humid air. And then the cold air actually comes down from from the north and moves to the south and basically interacts with all that warm air right there on that line. And that line is what we call the cold front. And that's where basically the colder air is taking out the warmer air, essentially. Which is definitely, that interaction between the cold and the warm is creating the fuel that's needed for the thunderstorms to happen. And like I said, that's going to be in place with that big temperature shift, which is pretty crazy. But anyways, like I said, once again, everybody, if there is any questions you may or you may have, feel free to let me know. Let's see here. But that's going on there. Let's see. Awesome says, hey, what's up? Jeffrey says, hey, what's up, you guys? Hack says, so Andrew, will Houston be clear of tomorrow or will get some early on? Okay, so for Houston, I know that Houston is at risk here. Let me actually go ahead and bring this back here. For tonight, anyways. So here's Houston. You can see right there, that green, this big old green circle you see right there, that's the marginal risk here, which is just a little level of severity tonight, a little marginal risk there. So possibility of a few strong to perhaps a few isolated, meaning spread out severe storms being possible. That could happen. So tonight is the night you got to watch out for. Tomorrow, on the other hand, with the Storm Prediction Center outlook and stuff like that, we do. I just now realized we do have ourselves that marginal risk here. But this is going to only happen once. This is a line that's going to move through. And it's going to happen for basically early tomorrow morning, essentially. That's kind of what we're seeing. Hype says that I hear about the Turkey earthquakes. I did. Very, very sad. More than 7,000 people have died from it. Yeah, that's horrible. I've heard about that. That's just terrible. When there was 2 of them, right? There was one back to back from another. Not good. That was definitely not good. And obviously prayers because of the families out there. You know that's harsh. You know that's some harsh stuff. You know, natural disasters are just terrible. You know, I mean obviously that's more of geology and that really doesn't go into meteorology, but still, I mean it's just very sad to see. I mean it's just horrible. Anyways, but like I said, little radar update for everybody. Here's Dallas. Like I said, we're watching right here. South of Dallas, we got some thunderstorm activity starting to kick off here right now. This is the very beginning of all of this activity. This is the very beginning of it all. And so basically the areas here towards like Corsicana, I believe it's a pretty popular area here. Let's see. Corsicana, Texas population. I want to see how much there is. 25,000 people there in Corsicana. Anyways, but here towards Corsicana, though, we have a little bit of thunderstorm activity kicking up here. You see those little lightning bolts there? See that little guy right there? Very, very hard to make out. But that is a lightning detection. That is obviously where a ground station has, or the satellite has detected lightning activity. So there is a bit of stormage. That's, if you don't know, that's a word I use on my channel quite often, is stormage. It's not a real storm, or not a real word, not a real word. But like I said, stormage meaning how stormy it is, essentially. A lot of stormage, a lot of stormy activity going on here towards Corsicana right now. Let's see, got a good question coming in here from Awesome saying, when do I expect the storms to form into a line? That's a very good question. So, to answer that, we take a look here over at the NAM 3-kilometer model. We're going to do that here right now, just as a little reference view. So according to, like I said, so essentially, according to what this model has to say, once again, models are not perfect, okay? Once again, models are not perfect. Take this as an idea. Take this as a possible reference here. But according to the NAM 3-kilometer model, it kind of shows that line really coming into contact probably around 3-4 Eastern, 2-3 Central. Kind of what it looks like. Now, I'm going to use a different model to also compare this here. We're going to track down a run because that one's not done yet. Let's see, 21Z maybe. Oh, 18Z maybe? There we go. So the HRRR shows that line really coming in contact roughly about the same time. Yeah, you can see how it starts. It's not as high resolution as the, or actually, sorry, it is higher resolution. But, obviously there's a big difference there. But there is that line kind of happening, really starting to kick off here. Basically for tomorrow, mid-tomorrow afternoon, essentially. Ariana says, I have a question. Will Leesville, Louisiana be at risk for tomorrow? Very good question. So, I tell you what, if you're in Louisiana in general, yes, you are at risk for thunderstorm potential. Now, I tell you what, we're going to switch over here to storm prediction. I'm just going to line this up a little better for you. So, I would not get your hopes up of school being canceled. Would not get your hopes up for that. Because this is not like a serious outbreak or anything like that. At least as of right now, it's not looking like a serious outbreak. But it's still a big risk, essentially. But don't think you're going to... I hate to say this. I know how much you probably want to be out of school. I don't think they're going to cancel it early or anything like that. But like I said, I mean, obviously, if you are in Louisiana, depending on what you said, where were you at? You said Leesville. Let me see where Leesville is. Leesville, Louisiana. Oh, I almost had it there. Let's see. Leesville, Louisiana, which will move this over to Louisiana. Okay, yeah, you're in that. Okay, there you are. Yep, you're in the slight risk. You're in the big risk for tomorrow. The biggest risk, I should say, which is a level 2. I said higher the number, the more severe it gets. It only goes 1 to 5, and you're to level 2, essentially. So you're the second to lowest, essentially. But anyways, but yeah, so like I said, I would not get your hopes up, but I mean, you're probably going to get those storms for sure. I would definitely say it's a good probability. But like I said, the beginning of this event is already starting to unfold here, my friends. Like I said, we have a lot of the thunderstorm activity already starting to kick off here, basically just south of Dallas at the moment. Let's see here. Awesome says, aren't they talking about another possible severe weather event next week also? I've heard that from people. I tell you what, we're gonna briefly skim that real quickly. Just because there's been someone that's actually already said that already. Let me briefly skim this for you guys. We'll look over it right now, just to get an idea. Here's the GFS model. Okay, we have the big system moving through. This is this week's, the one that's happening starting tomorrow. Ooh, yeah, I was watching another little low pressure system off here in the southeast that might cause some winter weather for areas here in the mid-Atlantic. Possibly. Don't get your hopes up completely for that. It does look like there's another low pressure system here for like the 14th, but once again, that's past 5 days, and I don't like going 5 days and we're out. Once again, I don't like doing that. GFS does support it though. Let's see, what about ECMWF? This is the European model, by the way. The European model does support it. Yes, it does. So it looks possible. It does, since we are having the two major models are agreeing on it, but to an extent, essentially. Not 100% likely, or not 100%, similar to one another, but I'd say it's possible. Let's see, can we ever just have a week of nice weather where it's always going off every other day? Yeah, essentially. I mean, like I said, going from snow to severe weather, it's just crazy. And like I said, for February, especially for March, that's where we start to see a serious transition in weather. It goes from a lot of snow to storms. And sometimes, during February and, obviously January, from previous experiences, we can have severe weather. I mean, really any time of the year, essentially. More months, more likely than others, but it can happen. It can definitely happen here. But once again, everybody, like I said, if you are new to the channel, once again, consider hitting that subscribe button. That way you guys are staying up to date here. Like I said, we're going to be covering this entire event here for tomorrow. We're going to have a long day ahead of us. So if you're not already, consider it, guys. Like I said, it would be greatly appreciated. Like I said, obviously, helps YouTube algorithm, helps everything. Obviously helps spread the word and stuff like that. So even if you could, maybe share this with a friend or a family member, and maybe they know someone who's down here that could possibly be affected here. And like I said, for the people just joining us, like I said, we have a pretty big risk here tomorrow, or decent risk here, decent size risk here, across areas here in the South. Once again, like eastern Texas, all of Louisiana, all of Mississippi, central, southern, and eastern Arkansas, central and western Tennessee, western Kentucky, southern Illinois and Indiana, southeastern Missouri, and central and western Alabama. That's what we're looking at. My oldest sister is in central Texas, in Killeen. Will she be at risk tomorrow too? We literally just looked at someone in Killeen. So, no. In Killeen, we are not... Like I said, we're not at risk here in Killeen for tomorrow, which Killeen is obviously... I believe it's west here. It was somewhere around here. Let me pull it back up here for you, just to show you. Let's see, Killeen, Texas. Okay, yeah, I knew it was somewhere around there. So for today, right at the moment, there is not any thunderstorm risk or any severe thunderstorm risk for you. Tomorrow, that risk moves further east. So no, you're good. Your sister will be okay. But anyways, like I said, once again, everybody, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Because like I said, I'm going to be here to make sure you guys are staying on top of this here, and like I said, all that fun stuff. If there's any question, please feel free to let me know. I want to see you guys, obviously I want to see you guys prepared and obviously ready to go during these situations here. Obviously is, what I want to see is to make sure you guys are staying safe out there. I mean, like I said, we take a look here back over at the models, just to kind of show you things here. Something I want to look at, like I said, overall the energy here in the atmosphere. Like I said, all that pink and blue that you see, that's basically the thunderstorm fuel. All of that is basically thunderstorm potential right there. And we have a lot of energy. You see all of Louisiana is directly in all of that energy there. Like I said, really start to kick off here for basically tomorrow afternoon. Like I said, later on tomorrow afternoon, early evening hours is whenever this is going to be really kicking off here. So keep that in mind. Like I said, we go off values here. Anything over 500 is thunderstorm producing. Anything over 1,000 typically is like, severe thunderstorm activity. We have about 1,500, which is showing a lot of energy here. According to other models, like I said, we can't just look at one, essentially. NAM, North American model, does support a lot of energy as well, about the same amounts being possible. The NAM Nest, which is a very high resolution model, showing pockets of very high energy over 1,500 as well, near 1,500 in some regions. Obviously we have RDPS, which is basically a fancy, a fancy model from the Canadians here. Once again, same thing. So like I said, seriously, it looks pretty active. Here's the GDPS. The first one's the RDPS. But like I said, there's a lot of energy available here, my friends. It definitely looks probable. It definitely looks very, very possible there. Cool says, will this be a multi-day event? Yeah, so it's looking like it's going to happen. Obviously, it's starting right now. It's already starting to kick off here. It's going to be starting from tonight, moving through tomorrow. Like I said, tomorrow's the big day. And then we have it moving into Thursday. So, yes, Thursday will also be impacted by all this activity. But anyways, like I said, at any time, once again, guys, if you have any questions, let me know. And like I said, we have a lot of thunderstorm activity. We have some thunderstorm detection starting to pop up here towards Corsicana, in which we are actively watching here at the moment. Which it says directly just south here of, pretty much just southeast here of Dallas. Thunderstorm activity is starting to kick off here at the moment. Like I said, this is, once again, this is the beginning of this event here. And like I said, there is a little bit of a threat tonight. Which I'm actually going to bring that back up for you guys. Basically show you this. Let's see, day one outlook. Yeah, so this little area. Oh, okay, that's just generalized thunderstorm. So this little area you see right there. There's Austin. There's Houston. There's Dallas. Just to kind of show you guys things. Put you all in a reference here. But you can see, that big green circle there. That right there is that thunderstorm risk here. Like I said, obviously that's the big thunderstorm risk there for tonight. Like I said, it's just a marginal risk here, not a big deal for tonight. I mean, it's something you should monitor. Obviously, it's just something to keep an eye out for, but nothing comparing to what we're seeing tomorrow. Like I said, tomorrow it has another step up in risk, but also covers a lot more distance. And like I said, we have a population total of about 26 million people, according to the Storm Prediction Center here for tomorrow's risk. 26 million people. Can you believe that? That's a lot of people. That is a lot of people. 26 million people. Let's see. Ariana says, my sister is freaking out because she doesn't want me to get hurt in this storm in LA or Louisiana. So, like I said, obviously it's nothing to worry about. That's the thing of the channel, is to make sure you guys are ready in case something happens. But obviously, there's nothing. Like I said, don't worry about it. I understand how, thunderstorms and all can be pretty scary sometimes. Trust me, I get it. Me as a kid, I used to be afraid of them, but also loved them. And now I love them more than anything. But like I said, obviously, I get how they can be very unknown and very scary to, the average person. But the good news about that is that I have a lot of tools here that can detect things, detect tornadoes and all that stuff. Like I said, here's an example I want to show you guys. Velocity here. This scan you see right there with the greens and the reds, like Christmas colors. So this is basically what we use to detect rotation, which you're going to see me probably using this a lot tomorrow, using to detect rotation. There's another product called correlation coefficient, which is this big guy. This basically tells us if there's anything being thrown up in the atmosphere. Basically, if there's a, debris, essentially, a bunch of leaves, sticks, houses, whatever can be thrown up in the air, this radar will pick it up. And like I said, if we see that rotation and we overlay it with the current view correlation coefficient, it will show us exactly where that tornado is at, essentially. Or it'll confirm where the tornado, if the tornado was on the ground or not. Let's see. I want to stay safe, so I'll be on your stream tomorrow, definitely. Well, it's good. Like I said, obviously, I want to make sure that you guys are keeping up to date. Because, like I said, we have the live info here, too, with any warnings that come through, any warnings, watches, which I guarantee we're going to have some watches tomorrow. With any warnings or watches that pop up, then obviously we'll explain it. We'll talk a little bit about it. Absolutely. That's a thing that we're going to definitely do for you guys. Like I said, they did upgrade, or they did put another marginal risk here out for today. They just not updated the overall risk for today, keeping it pretty much the same. Once again, there's a little tornado probability, basically in southeastern, once again, kind of in southeastern Texas here. Like I said, obviously, really nothing too extreme, nothing to freak out over. A little possibility of a tornado or two could be possible across East Texas tonight. With that cold front starting to ramp up, like I said, tomorrow, late tomorrow afternoon, early evening, that's when things are going to be really kicking up here. And just to show you an example, that little green area, and then you have tomorrow's big, huge green area with a yellow area as well, which like I said, that's the slight risk, that's the level 2 out of 5 severity, which that's a little stronger, a little more probable thunderstorm activity. Let's see here. Brendan says, will Bryant Arkansas be in the risk for tomorrow? So, there is areas, and as you can see, a lot of Arkansas is included with the risk here for tomorrow. If I pull up Bryant, Arkansas here, which is right here towards Little Rock, actually. So I tell you what, yeah, you are at risk. You are in the marginal risk here, which is at level 1 out of 5. So you are at risk for a little bit of thunderstorm activity. Let's see here. Mr. Insel says that's some awesome technology. Gotta love radar. Oh yeah, radar is absolutely awesome. It's a very important tool to have too. And that's another thing is, like I said, we can keep up to date with the live info here with the radar. I mean, with satellite, we got observations, we have everything. Anyways, but like I said, that is kind of what we're seeing here. Brendan says, okay, thanks. No problem. No problem at all here. Like I said, tomorrow's risk here, like I said, we have ourselves a 2% area here across the dark green. And like I said, we have a 5% region across the brown. Like I said, the 5%, that brown area, that's where the greatest chance of having tornadoes is tomorrow. Once again, this is for central, northeastern side of Louisiana, if you consider northeastern the bottom, top right, essentially. This part of Louisiana, basically central and northeastern areas of Louisiana, is at in that greatest probability for tomorrow. Areas here towards central and western Mississippi is there too, and obviously southeastern Arkansas. That is where the greatest potential for tornadoes is tomorrow, in which we should watch, definitely. Let's see, the models look interesting for central Arkansas tomorrow. Let's actually look at that real quickly. We're going to switch over here to the view. Like I said, we take a look here at the overall energy that's available. Like I said, I mean, it definitely does show a decent, a decent amount of energy. Like I said, I was explaining, this is basically your thunderstorm fuel. It's required for thunderstorms to kick off here. And like I was saying, we go ahead and grab a little sounding. Like I said, you're about to see something interesting, but like I said, don't freak out over it. But there is a very strong, you see how it starts to tilt there? That's basically showing that wind direction change I was telling you. Very, very strong winds pulling north, and then you go up a couple thousand feet up. Winds are screaming north. You go up halfway up the atmosphere. It's basically turning to the northeast, essentially. And then you see how it starts to turn to the northeast. That's basically the wind direction changing, essentially, and the wind speeds increasing. Which, yeah, I mean, from my perspective here, yeah, it looks like Louisiana could be at risk for a couple tornadoes tomorrow. Like I said, more likelihood southeastern side, essentially. But once again, we'll switch back here over to the models here. Like I said, I mean, really any fuel, like I said, really any thunderstorm activity above 1,000 is good for severe weather. And like I said, we have about near 1,000 to 1,500, which is crazy. That's a lot of energy. That's a lot of fuel. That's going to be available here for all of this activity. And you can see that cold front move through. Yeah, look at the big shift in temperatures, y'all. That's something I want to show you guys. Is the dramatic shift in temperatures from this cold front is absolutely ridiculous. We'll move this over to shaded here. You see that big boundary there? Look at that. Right here, eastern Texas, upper 60s, and then behind the front, it's in the upper 40s. So about a 20-degree drop in like 50 miles or so. It's crazy. Pretty crazy. Then obviously as we track our way down here through time, we get a lot of advection. You see how the temperatures increase across the south? So basically what's happening here is we have a lot of warm air driving its way up in the country. Very, very strong winds towards the lower levels. Like I said, the winds change direction to the northeast and the upper levels. Low pressure system located around up there some reason or somewhere. And it's pretty crazy just how that works. Yeah, it obviously kicks its way up here to the northeast, but isn't it just crazy to look at just how dramatic the temperatures shift in a matter of a little time, which is crazy. Let's see. Ariana says, is my area, Leesville, LA, going to have some tornadoes? I know there is going to be thunderstorms, but what about tornadoes? So, yeah, so there's the thing. So there is a tornado probability for that area. We were looking at here basically in southwestern Louisiana. There's a 5% tornado risk near there. Which, like I said, obviously it's nothing to freak out about. I mean, it's a possibility of a few tornadoes nearby being a possibility. That's basically what that is saying here. Just to keep an eye out on the weather tomorrow. You know, it would not hurt to obviously track, you know, over, you know, every so often on the weather, maybe a couple times an hour or so. Just way you are staying up to date with this. But yes, there will be a possibility of some tornadoes in Louisiana. Absolutely. Fall Guys wants me to take a look at the zip code for him, so let's do that for you right now. This is in Indiana, Syracuse. Okay, this is northern Indiana. So northern Indiana is not really at risk for any thunderstorm activity, which is, like I said, obviously, you know, you're good with that. However, Indiana, though, might be in the possibility. Obviously, you're going to get some rain out of this, probably around an inch or so. But snowfall, yeah, you're out of the snowfall here. Ariana says, is a 5% like a slight risk? Yeah, it is. The 5% tornado risk is a slight risk. It's weird how they do it, because the 5% wind damage risk is a marginal risk here. It's just weird how they do that. But yeah, essentially, yes, you are in that tornado risk here for tomorrow, that 5% zone. So watch out for it. Keep an eye on it. Keep on checking the weather every once in a while. Like I said, every couple updates. I set a goal for you guys. Check the weather at least 4 times in an hour. That sounds like a lot if you're across these regions, but it's for y'all's safety, guys. Seriously. It is seriously for your all safety, and I would do anything to make sure that you guys are staying safe out there and all of that stuff. And like I said, that's why I'm dedicating my whole day tomorrow to be covering this event here, because, like I said, I want you guys to understand, first of all, what's happening, and I want to obviously help out the community as much as possible. Help out anybody as much as possible. Jenny says, I must go. Peace. Love y'all. You too, Jenny. Thank you so much for joining us. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Now, like I said, once again, everybody, if there is absolutely any question you may have, feel free to let me know. You know, we got you guys covered. We're going to be here for y'all, and all that stuff. And like I said, if you have not already, I mean, consider hitting that subscribe button, guys. You know, it'd be greatly appreciated. That way you guys stay on top of everything. Like I said, obviously, you know, that's what we want to do here, is making sure that you guys are staying on top of the weather here. Caden says, will Pella, Iowa near Des Moines get snow this week if you don't mind checking? Okay. So for you, my friend, I have some interesting news. Yes, there will be some snow nearby. Like I said, if you're right there towards Des Moines, you are looking at some snow here. We're gonna switch over here to the obviously the future forecast here for you. Here's Des Moines, probably about 1 to 3 inches probably. Northeast, like I said, northeast Iowa. That's the actual snowfall forecast here. Northeast Iowa, we're talking like a decent amount, maybe 3 to 6 inches. Could be possible. Locally higher amounts theoretically could be possible as well. I'd honestly be, in the far northeastern sides, I'd say more of a 4 to 8 inch range. But like I said, for you specifically, let me see where you're at here specifically. You said in Pella, which let me look up Pella. That way I can know where this is at. Okay, this is just southeast of Des Moines. So you, my friend, okay, so you're right in that 1 to 3 inch boundary. So you might see some snow. Maybe a little bit, but nothing crazy, nothing extremely impactful. I mean, 1 to 3 inches can, cause some impact sometimes, but obviously, yeah, in that sense, nothing too crazy. No problem, Caden. No problem at all. Anyways, like I said, we're watching here right now at the current radar view. We're taking a look and see what is going on here. Like I said, we're watching the current radar view in regard to everything. So here's east of Dallas, towards Fort Worth region. Seen a lot of thunderstorm activity going off. Mr. Install says, I'll be back tomorrow. Have a safe night, everyone. You too, Mr. Install. Thank you so much once again for becoming a member on the channel. Greatly appreciated. Prox says, Andrew, sorry to get away from the immediate discussion, but would I please check the snow possibilities and levels for northeastern Ohio? Thanks. Yeah, no problem. So, for you, Proxy, we'll switch over here to that view again here. So obviously here towards Ohio. So in the immediate 48-hour period, we're not expecting any snow for your location. We switch over here to the models. I'll bring up the blend of models for you. We'll take a look at the basically the Ohio region here for snow potential. We track our way down in time. Once again, this is a blend of models, taking the mixture of everything and just kind of throwing them together. But this one possibly shows a little trace of snow. Nothing you ain't used to, by the way, though. Less than an inch is kind of expected here. Maybe for the late 10th, early 11th, possibly. It's a mixture of opinions, by the way, so we'll see. So hopefully that helped you out there. Let's see here. Cassandra wants me to take a look here. 43006. So 43006. Is there anything specific you want me to look there? This is in Ohio. This is basically between Cleveland and Columbus. Yeah, so same thing for you. You know, less than an inch of snow. You know, obviously it's kind of a thing there for you. Between the blend of models, like I said, you know, taking all those models, mashing them together, getting the averages out there. Like I said, you know, the big areas here, you know, that's going to possibly see some snow is towards like Wisconsin. You know, Wisconsin, upper state of Michigan, areas in Iowa even. You know, like I said, obviously Iowa here. I mean, look at that. Yeah, northeastern Iowa. That's according to the blend of models, but the official forecast shows more for those areas here. Wisconsin, southwestern side, northeastern Iowa. That's kind of one of the bullseye zones I'm seeing here. You know, when it comes to snowfall accumulations out of this. Yeah, like I said, it looks like the areas here towards those zones. Let me bring up the radar here for y'all. Yeah, so it's kind of the area towards those zones there that we're seeing maybe 4 to 8 inches. You know, that definitely could be a big possibility. So, we'll see. We will see how that plays out there. I mean, some areas here towards, you know, like Olwyn, I guess I say that, near 7 inches on the forecast there. Like I said, that's an impactful amount of snow. I'm not going to lie. It's a decent amount. Anyways, but we're going to switch on back here, guys, to tomorrow's risk here, just to give you all a little update for the new viewers just now joining us, if there's anyone else joining us right now. Like I said, basically we're watching out tomorrow, because tomorrow we're watching for a potential severe weather event that's going to be unfolding here. Like I said, eastern Texas throughout portions of central Louisiana, through central Arkansas, including Louisiana actually, moving through southeastern Missouri, southern Illinois, southern Indiana, western Kentucky, central and western Tennessee, central and western Alabama, and the very far tip of western panhandle of Florida right there towards Pensacola. So those areas inside of this region here is at risk for severe weather tomorrow. Like I said, there's a scale from 1 to 5. So 5 being the worst severe potential, 1 being the least. We have a level 2 across the areas here in the yellow, which, like I said, is still on the lower edge of that severity boundary. But, like I said, you know, it is on that lower edge. However, like I said, you know, there is a pretty large area to cover with that risk, though. That's the thing. And like I said, if you wanted to know my opinion here, I think that we might get an enhanced 2. Like I said, I'll probably have to get a 50-50 shot, which is a level 3 out of 5. I think they might upgrade that. The reason I say that is because the models have been trending in favor of it. Once again, there's a lot of energy available in the atmosphere, you know, to really do anything, which I'm going to show you all here. I'll switch over here to just a better view of this. So basically, like I was saying here, the areas in the pink and the blue, that is essentially, like I said, that's basically all of the big stuff. Like I said, all of the heavy energy that's available in the atmosphere. You can see the blue really start kicking in here, kind of around tomorrow afternoon, evening here. Like I said, that's kind of what we're seeing here. I don't know if the Storm Prediction Center actually, more think about it, did they put a possibility of an upgrade here? Let's see here. Okay, I don't see any. Interesting. Oh yeah, I was just looking to see if they actually, if they actually put a possibility of talking about an enhanced risk, which it did not look like it. Robin Jones wants to take a look here at 44691. All right, so for 44691, let's see where this is at here. This is in Wooster, Ohio. This is right here, once again, between Columbus and Cleveland. So for you, Robin, not really expected to see anything. Like I said, possibility of maybe a little bit of, maybe a little bit of snow for like the 10th and the 11th, like we were talking about here. But overall, like I said, nothing severe is expected out of that. You also can look here at 44601. Okay. Oh, is that just a typo? Might have been. Let's see here. This is, well, pretty much near the same area. So same thing pretty much applies for you, essentially. Pretty much. Pretty much there. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's really not too far off from that. But once again, like I said, guys, if you have any questions at all, let me know. We will be here for you guys. And we got you all covered here. Take a look here back at the current radar view with everything going on here. East of Dallas, we got some thunderstorm activity moving through right now. Like I said, kind of right there towards like Gun Barrel City. Let's see, Valerie says, what about Central Alabama? So, Central Alabama is at risk here for tomorrow. It'll likely be like later tomorrow, essentially. It'll mostly be later on tomorrow here. So, we'll watch out for it. You know, we'll see how things goes. You know, we'll see how things goes with that. You're in that marginal risk here, which, like I said, that's a level. Like I said, this is basically a level 1 out of 5, which we'll see. And so, yeah, keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. Like I said, it's possible. Like I said, the cold front's going to take some time to reach the eastern risk area. So, obviously, you know, in the form of that long line of thunderstorms pushing through, yeah, obviously, we're going to have to watch out the eastern side. Let's see. JJ says hot Takis or hot Cheetos. Okay, I'm going to have to go with hot Cheetos on that one. I know a lot of people are probably going to, you know, criticize me for that one. But the reason I say that is because I was into hot Cheetos before they were even a big thing. Like, I remember I was back in, like 6th grade, and I was the only one who brought hot Cheetos. And then I started sharing it with my friends, and next thing you know, everyone started getting them. So it kind of seems like I started that, but I probably didn't. But it's just, I've always been a hot Cheetos person, which is pretty good. Valerie says, thank you. No problem. Stay safe out there, seriously. Moving on back here to the current radar view. Like I said, we got a little bit of lightning detection popping up here. Once again, towards Gun Barrel City here, just directly southeast of Dallas, Texas. Which, like I said, obviously, you know, that interaction with the warm and cold air starting to commence here. You know, we're starting to see, you know, a lot of that activity happening. Like I said, basically, we're having 2 air masses collide right now. So basically what that means is essentially we have a big cold front kicking through. And what's happening is we have a lot of warm air pulling up, you know, from the Gulf of Mexico. And then we have a lot of cool air pulling down from the Canadian region. So they're kind of colliding right there. Yeah, they're kind of colliding right there in that, you know, on that cold front line. Ariana says I'm eating Takis in my bed right now. That's pretty funny you say that then, JJ. That's little would you know. But like I said, yeah, we're just going to have to watch out for it. Like I said, a lot of lightning detection is starting to pop up here. Once again, south of Dallas in the Fort Worth region. Start to kick off here at the moment. Which, let me pull up velocity here. We'll take a brief look at things. Just to, you know, quickly glance anything, see if anything's happening. Does not look like any areas of rotation. So what you would want to look out for rotation is basically a, you know, very light green and a very light red, very compacted together, essentially, in some, roughly, which I'm sure you'll probably see examples of that tomorrow. Like I said, we'll see how tomorrow plays out here. Yeah, there's some lighter green, maybe some increased winds nearby. I like them, but I'm not really a Cheetos fan. Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's see. We'll take a look over here towards Houston. I want to see what's going on here in Houston right now. Switch over here to the radar. Let's see. It looks like a bit of spotty showers starting to kick up here towards Houston. Current conditions here, upper 60s. Pretty good. Yeah, upper 60s, lower 70s temperatures. We actually have a really cool program I actually forgot to mention to you guys here. Here we go. So this is basically a bunch of observations across the country, which is really cool. And so you can actually see these little barbs here. They're moving up to the northwest, and we have these barbs moving down to the south. So that boundary is basically happening right here between, like, near Waco, essentially. You know, right there. That's kind of where that cold front's at. But anyways, down, you know, basically down here towards Houston, you can see the temperature is increasing here. Or like I said, the dew points are going up into the mid 60s. Like I said, 60s dew points. That's perfect for you know, thunderstorm activity and, you know, potential of tornadoes and stuff like that. So the lower level supply is there essentially. Yeah, that lower level supply is available essentially. But anyways. But that's that, everybody. That is what we are watching here. Switch over back to Dallas here. Like I said, a lot of that thunderstorm activity starting to kick off here towards Dallas. You can see it on the satellite view on my right-hand side, right here. You can see cumulonimbus activity. A bunch of tall, white, puffy clouds starting to kick off here. Oklahoma. Bit of precipitation on the eastern flank. Let's see. What about? Yeah, all this is in the form of rain. But a lot of this is going to, we're going to start to see some of the snow actually happen for, like, tomorrow afternoon as well. That's the thing, guys. Like I said, this is not just a severe weather event here. This is also a snowmaker, too. Here's the future model. Like I said, time's on the top right here. We move here essentially to, midnight tonight, local. Cold front moving through eastern Texas. A lot of rain falling here. We track our way up through time, around, like I said, obviously kind of around, sunrise here, essentially. We get some snow kicking up, possibly in western Oklahoma, tracking its way up here to eastern Kansas, possibly. But then you really see that nasty line of storm fire off here. I mean, look at that. That's a pretty brutal-looking line. We call this a QLCS, which stands for a quasi-linear convective system. So basically, break that down. Linear, straight line. Big, long, straight line of thunderstorms. And a convective system, QLCS, convective system, basically just thunderstorm activity. You know what convection is? The cycling of cool and warm air. That's what happens in thunderstorms, essentially. Big old convection system. Ariana says, you're my favorite weather streamer. Well, thank you so much there, Ariana. It means a lot to me. Thank you, thank you. But once again, like I said, if y'all are just joining us, and if there is anything that's on your mind regarding this severe weather, hey, feel free to let me know. We'll be here for you guys. And like I said, we'll make sure that you guys are staying up to date out there and all that stuff. Like I said, tomorrow, once again, everybody, tomorrow's going to be a big day. Planning to go live, let's see. Thinking around 2 to 4 Eastern. What do y'all think? Is that work good for you? I'm going to put up a time. I don't know. I was thinking I was going to put up a poll here, but that really just determines on when the storms kick off here. I'm probably going to go live a little bit before the storms try to kick off here. Anywhere from 2 to 4 Eastern, which would be 1 to 3 Central Time, essentially. But that is all that, my friends. But like I said, we have a lot of that thunderstorm activity really getting ready to kick off here. Eastern Texas, through Louisiana, through Arkansas, through Mississippi, through Tennessee, through Western Kentucky, through Eastern Kansas, all those areas there. So something to watch out here for. Anyways, well, guys, I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to take a small little break here. We've been live for over an hour and a half. So we're basically almost at the hour 45 line. I'm going to take a 5-minute break, you guys. Hopefully y'all don't mind. This is basically just to, it's a 5-minute break here just to basically, just rest the voice for a second, grab something to drink. But hang tight. Don't go anywhere. Just grab a drink, something for yourself, and all that. Let's see here. White Wolf says, just joining. Not looking forward to the storms. Yeah, don't blame you. I don't want to go to school. Yeah, trust me, I get it. I didn't either. I really did not. All right, guys, well, we're going to head off here. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Hope y'all don't mind. Like I said, we have a timer counting down so y'all can look up to something. We'll keep this on the radar view for y'all. And all of that fun stuff. That way you can see what's going on here. But let me rest the voice for a second, and we'll be back here in a few momentos. Like I said, obviously, grab yourself something to drink, grab yourself something to eat if you want to, and we'll be right back.
Today's low temperature of 64 degrees occurred at 2:12 a.m. The normal low is 44. The record low is 10 degrees, which was set in 1899. 0.05 inches of precipitation fell today. Sunset tonight is at 6:13 p.m. Sunrise tomorrow is at 7:17 a.m. You are listening to NOAA Weather Radio Station WXK27 in Austin, broadcasting on a frequency of 162.400 megahertz, originating from the Austin San Antonio Weather Forecast Office. This is a public information statement. NOAA Weather Radio Station WXK-27 with a frequency of 162.400 megahertz out of Austin, Texas remains off the air due to significant damage to power and communication lines in the area of the transmitter. This is expected to be a long-term outage. In the meantime, please visit our website at weather.gov/EWX. The current time is 7:39 p.m. Central Standard Time. The Austin NOAA Weather Radio Roundup. At 7 p.m. at Austin Bergstrom, it was cloudy. The temperature was 68. The dew point 66. The relative humidity was 93%. The wind southeast at 7 miles an hour, and the pressure was 29.95 inches and rising. At Camp Mabry, it was cloudy. The temperature was 67. The dew point 66. The relative humidity was 97%. The wind southeast at 7 miles an hour, and the pressure was 29.96 inches and rising. Pflugerville cloudy 66. Taylor cloudy 67. Lago Vista cloudy 59. Georgetown light rain was falling 67. San Marcos cloudy 68. Burnett light rain and fog were reported 52. Junction cloudy 48. San Antonio cloudy 69. Corpus Christi mostly cloudy 73. Houston cloudy 69. Once again at Austin Bergstrom it was 68, and at Camp Mabry it was 67. Elsewhere across the state, College Station cloudy 70. Amarillo mostly cloudy 40. Abilene fog was reported 42. Dallas Fort Worth light rain was falling 48. Your weather synopsis for South Central Texas. Humid and breezy conditions will be found across South Central Texas today ahead of a cold front that will move through the region later this afternoon and into tonight. Increasing chances for showers and thunderstorms are expected ahead of and just behind the front, with the potential for an isolated strong to severe storm east of I-35. Fair conditions will then prevail through the end of the week. Cooler air will filter into the region behind a secondary cold front heading into this weekend. Your local forecast. Tonight, a chance of thunderstorms. Showers. Much cooler with lows in the upper 40s. Southwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour, becoming northwest after midnight. Chance of rain 90%. Wednesday, a chance of thunderstorms. Showers, mainly in the morning. Much cooler with highs in the upper 50s. Northwest winds 15 to 20 miles per hour with gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Chance of rain 80%. Wednesday night, clear. Lows in the upper 30s. West winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny. Not as cool with highs in the upper 60s. West winds 5 to 10 miles per hour with gusts up to 20 miles per hour. Thursday night, mostly clear. Lows in the upper 30s. Northwest winds 15 to 20 miles per hour with gusts up to 30 miles per hour. Friday and Friday night, clear, breezy. Highs in the lower 50s. Lows in the upper 20s. Saturday, mostly sunny.
All right, my friends, we are back here. Sorry about that. We just had to take a little bit of a second to rest the old voice here. Like I said, obviously, talking for an hour and 45 minutes is a little difficult to do, but welcome back, everybody. Hope you're doing all right here. Like I said, we have a lot of stuff to continue discussing here for tonight. Like I said, if you do not understand what's going on right now, there is a big or a decent-sized severe weather event that is expected to kick off here for starting tonight, actually. Starting here tonight and continuing into tomorrow. Like I said, we take a look here over at the Storm Prediction Center here. We actually do have ourselves, like I said, a pretty decent sized risk here, obviously from portions of eastern Texas through Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, areas here towards Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, Illinois, southeastern Missouri here. So those areas, like I said, we are watching out for The possibility of some severe storms. Like I said, especially for that yellow shaded area. Like I said, the yellow shaded area there, that is where we are going to be seeing, the biggest potential, with these thunderstorms and all of that activity. So, like I said, watch out if you're across areas here, Louisiana specifically, Mississippi, southeastern Arkansas. Like I said, it'll be good just to make sure you guys are watching this and to make sure you guys are, aware of the situation here. But but that's that. So, anyways, like I said, we have some thunderstorm activity that is already starting to kick off here across the way. Temperature, in front of the storm, 60 around, lower 60s here, but behind it, we're talking 50s, lower 50s. I mean, that's literally like a 25, 30 mile gap at least, which is crazy. It's pretty crazy to look at it that way. Like it's a pretty small gap for such a large temperature difference, which is just absolutely crazy. But anyways, yeah, we have some thunderstorm activity that's starting to kick off here across the way. Like I said, most of this is moving east of Dallas in the Fort Worth region. Like I said, we do have a live camera here in Dallas at the moment. It looks like there's a bit of shower activity that's happening. We go ahead and switch over to that. Like I said, here's the live camera in Dallas. This is literally the skyline cam. Right here in the Dallas region. You can see it's very hazy, and the cloud top, or what we call the ceiling, is pretty low. Like I said, it's obviously lower than the tops of those buildings there, which is really interesting. But like I said, yeah, we got a little bit of hazy conditions out there. Obviously a bit nasty, kind of some gross conditions there. And like I said, we take a look here at the radar view, the current view here towards Dallas. A little bit of spotty showers going on here. A little bit of maybe some thunder showers. Honestly, would not be surprising if we did see some of those nearby. Once again, towards the Fort Worth region, we have ourselves a bit of some areas here with some pretty decent rainfall. Some moderate heavy rainfall across the way. Like I said, once you move towards like Gun Barrel City here, just southeast of Dallas, though that area here, that is where we are seeing the more moderate heavy stuff that's starting to actually play out here. And like I said, as the night progresses here, as we move into tomorrow, here's the future radar here based off of the NAM 3-kilometer model here. Like I said, we track away over here to tomorrow afternoon, and you're going to start to notice how we are going to have this big, long line really start to develop here across, eastern areas here of eastern Texas and the eastern areas of Oklahoma. So basically, this is going to be driving a whole line, a very large line of thunderstorms. Basically all the way as high up north here. Some areas here, that risk reaches all the way to southern Illinois, southern Indiana. But like I said, we have all that going up there. We have this big, long line here that is essentially stretching all the way from Louisiana through areas here of eastern Texas, Arkansas, Mississippi, which is definitely pretty crazy. So we're going to have to keep an eye on it for it. Like I said, obviously here in eastern Kansas, there's a possibility here of some snow, possibly even for western Oklahoma. I'd say it's possible. It looks quite possible, so maybe it's a possible thing there. Starting off here for the early afternoon, it looks like. Maybe some snow moving through. And then, like I said, big old line here. JJ says possible squall line with a question mark. This is a squall line. Which, like I said, squall line is just basically a big, long line of thunderstorms that covers couple hundred miles or so, which you can see, this line is just massive. It covers a lot of ground here, all the way down. If we're not talking about the Gulf of Mexico itself, this ends off right at southern Illinois, southern, did I really just call Louisiana, Illinois? Southern Louisiana, cutting through Mississippi, western Tennessee here, cutting up through Illinois, that's Illinois. Like I said, honestly, that's a pretty, a couple hundred miles, easy. Like I said, it definitely is pretty crazy. And like I said, obviously, that big line is expected to really happen here, start to kick off here for basically late afternoon tomorrow, kind of around 3 Eastern, kind of early afternoon if you're in the central time zone. So kind of around maybe 1 to 3 o'clock. Central time clock here, 8 o'clock for the central time zone, basically. We're going to have this line really cranking. And overnight hours here, look at this, for midnight for Thursday morning. Like I said, basically for, Thursday morning here, it's just absolutely crazy. This is just a big old long line, And like I said, I'm a little worried about nocturnal tornadoes. Obviously, I don't know if you all know what the word nocturnal means. It means active at night. But like I said, with this event, there is that tornado probability. There's all these conditions that is available for tornadic activity here. And the bad thing is it's at night, which is not good, which is very difficult to see. And like I said, the thing is that there's also the possibility for what we call rain-wrapped tornadoes, which just reduces visibility even more. Basically, the tornado, it will be right in the middle of all that heavy precipitation. All of that rain will start wrapping around the tornado in curtains, making it look just like fog or heavy rain, and you cannot see the tornado. So, like I said, in tomorrow's case, if you are in a tornado warning at all, you better get to shelter. Like I said, obviously, that's where you want to. That is where you want to obviously be, is in a shelter. Like I said, don't wait until you see or hear it. Actually, moving over here to the camera really quickly, we have some rain that's starting to move through the skyline area here right now, which is definitely kind of interesting here. Starting to move here through the skyline, which we are starting to see that activity moving through right now. So a little bit of a little bit of showers is possible, towards those regions there. But other than that, I mean, like I said, nothing too extreme here at the moment. Nothing too extreme. And like I said, once again, if there's any questions you might have, let me know. Megan says, hey guys, sorry it's been a rough week. I'm trying my best to be here, not feeling the best. I just had a worse experience at the store. I'm sorry to hear that there, Megan. Hopefully things get better for you. Sorry to hear that. Megan, if there's anything I can do for you, let me know. Okay? Like I said, I'm here for you. I'm here for all of y'all. As always. Yeah, we got you all covered. Like I said, we take a look here over towards, western Mississippi, southeastern Louisiana here. Like I said, we have that really strong line really kicking off there around midnight. Basically from late Wednesday into, late Wednesday into early Thursday. Like I said, this event's going to continue throughout the southeast, for Thursday, which I'm going to go show you right now. That line's going to be moving through. And you can see how, obviously, we're having those thunderstorms continually push their way here to the east. But like I said, honestly, I really think that Thursday, I don't think Thursday is going to be that bad. I think what the biggest day is, I think tomorrow we have the biggest potential, which is crazy. So we'll see. Let's see, the worst is supposed to be between 5 and 11 p.m. according to HRRR model, but it doesn't show it being that major of an event. Yeah, once again, it depends on which model you look at. Once again, like I said, as a reference, models are not always the most accurate here. Do I have a timeline for Middle Tennessee on those storms? Yeah. So, like I said, Middle Tennessee, you actually are, White Wolf, you're actually in that risk if you're in Middle Tennessee. So obviously the storms will start moving in towards western Tennessee. Once again, as a reference, don't take this 100% seriously, but western Tennessee here, maybe around 1, 2 a.m. Eastern, which would be about 12, 1 o'clock Central. Tracking through Central, yeah, started to decay there. Moving over towards like Nashville, probably around 4 o'clock or so. I would say about 3 to 5. Put that range there, about 3 to 5 a.m. Thursday to like the Nashville area. Towards Memphis here, like I said, I'd say probably 12 to or 11 to 1 Central. I had to do the conversion in my head there. Like I said, basically, the Central Time is an hour behind Eastern, which I'm in Eastern right now. I have the Central Time in the bottom right there, and then the radar time is obviously there in Eastern, so there's a lot of different time zones here. But anyways, like I said, that's what we're looking at there. Like I said, right now, if we take a look at the current radar view, I mean, we're starting to see some of that activity already starting to kick off here. Like I said, nothing crazy. That major line, like I said, basically, that big line essentially is not expected to form here until like later on tomorrow afternoon. Like I said, tomorrow afternoon, early evening, that line will start kicking across the east, move through Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia. There's actually a risk for Thursday Let me show you guys that real quickly. So like I said, we'll show you guys today. We'll take a look at the next few days here really quickly. So here's the risk here from the Storm Prediction Center. Like I said, basically across areas here of, southern, basically southeastern Texas. Little marginal risk here. Like I said, just a little small threat for today. Possibility of a few tornadoes. Can't be ruled out, by the way. Damaging wind possibilities and not really any hail concerns. So just tonight, maybe a brief tornado or two could happen tonight. Maybe mixing in with some gusty winds out of some storms. Tomorrow, though, like I said, the big day moving through. Like I said, the southeast, the western southeast here, obviously all the way up into the western Tennessee Valley and the Ohio Valley, southwestern side. So, like I said, obviously tomorrow's the big day. But like I was saying, for Thursday, we even have a little risk here for southern Alabama. What that decaying cold front at that point will be for southern, at the point on Thursday, it'll start to be decaying. Which obviously, southern Alabama, southwestern Georgia, and the panhandle here of, Florida. Like I said, that's kind of where we have that little other marginal risk here, which is what we're looking at. But like I said, that is kind of, what we are seeing there. Let's see, Wyatt. What's up, Wyatt? Hope you're doing good. Glad to have you here. Let's see here. JJ says NAM usually shows the strongest worst case if you don't like severe weather scenario. HO says there's the weakest, quote unquote, best scenario. Yeah, like I said, it honestly depends on the event, though. I have seen times where the HRRR is out, showing intensity than the NAM before. It happens. It just depends on the event and all that stuff. I mean, each one of those models is slightly different. Obviously, they're not the same. But yeah, they're a little bit different in different ways. I mean, like I said, we take a look here at a different model you probably haven't even heard of, FV3. In which this model, kind of shows, kind of agrees with NAM in some ways, showing that really nasty squall line moving through, which is quite interesting. There's another model you probably have not heard of, the WRF-ARW2. This one here, not a well-known model, not a major model anyways, but it kind of revolves on what the HRRR has to say, and a mixture between what the... It's kind of a mixture between the HRRR and the NAM from what it looks like. Kind of looks like the same between the two. But anyways, that's kind of what we're seeing here. That is indeed what we are looking at. Yeah, like I said, switched over here back to the Dallas cam. I mean, it's starting to get some of that rain activity moving through. Like I said, we take a look here at the radar on the right-hand side. You can see right there for the Dallas. That's Dallas right there, and you can see how... Got a bit of thunder showers, a bit of shower activity moving through here at the moment. Chad says, do I think that the storm will be upgraded to an enhanced risk tomorrow? Yes, I think there's a good possibility it could. I'm going to give it a 50-50 shot, though. Like I said, obviously, I'm not the storm prediction center. I can't make that decision. But based off of the ingredients I've seen, with all that instability in the atmosphere, all that energy that's available, 1,000 to 1,500 mixed layer cape, a lot of energy, or a decent amount of energy, especially for this time of the year. With that being said, strong northerlies across a couple thousand feet up in the air, some strong winds, a couple thousand feet up, moving to the north. Then that wind direction will change as you go up higher in the atmosphere. That is creating that spin that's required for, potentially tornadic storms. So I think we have a possibility. I think there could be a little bit more of a frequent tornado event. I'd say probably a 10% non-significant risk here I think could be possible. I think they'll issue a 10% normal risk non-sig. Probably I would not be surprised if they did issue a 30% wind risk, and I'd say a 15% hail risk. Kind of what I think. That's kind of what I'm throwing out there, my opinion there. Take that how you want to take it, but that's kind of what I'm thinking on the event. Based off of the model guidance, based off of how conditions are going now and stuff. I mean, like I said, we take a look here over at what's happening right now. I mean, those winds at the moment, a couple thousand feet up, about a kilometer up or so. Winds are moving. I mean, they're screaming to the north. I mean, they're moving to the north anyways, but at really not that fast of speeds. I mean, they're kind of moving around 25, 30 knots, which is equivalent to about a little bit more than 25 miles an hour. So I'd say probably about 30 to 35 miles an hour is kind of what the winds are moving at. Once again, a couple thousand feet up. And then you go up in elevation, to 20, 30,000 feet up in the air, which is a lot higher than what the lower levels. And you're going to notice how the winds change direction to the northeast. You see those little barbs moving to the northeast now. So like I said, there is that wind directional change that is available right now. And that's why we have a small tornado risk tonight. It's because the winds are in place for tornadic storms here. Once again, that's kind of more the current conditions of things, by the way. This is the mesoanalysis. Analysis meaning like observing, basically. But yeah, so that's kind of what we're looking at. The overall energy that's available in the atmosphere, too, is starting to move its way up here. As you can see, it's starting to kind of track its way from there to there to there. It's starting to kind of move its way to the eastern side. All of this, like I said, that's all your fuel that we were talking about. It's already in portions of eastern Texas. Let's see. Rain says, I would not be surprised if we see an enhanced risk. Yeah, I would not either, honestly. But I would be surprised if we see anything higher than an enhanced risk. I don't think that's even possible. Like I said, my best bet, what I think, based off of, once again, an educated view of what I've seen, I think we might see a 10% non-significant tornado risk here. We might see the possibility for 30% wind damage risk. And a 15% hail threat. Once again, that's my personal opinion. Once again, take that how you want to take it. If you want to go with it, go with it. If you don't, then, like I said, obviously that's up to you. But that's what I think. That's what I think. I've seen these events pop up many years. I've been watching these things for many, many years. And obviously, it's kind of what I think. Anyways, but yeah, we'll see. But anyways, like I said, right now there's no active severe thunderstorm warnings, which is good. Like I said, obviously the beginning of this interaction with that warm and that cold air is already starting to kick off right now. It's starting to do such right now. So we're watching this. We're keeping an eye out for all of this stuff here. But like I said, obviously, that is, kind of what we're watching is the beginning of this starting to unfold here. Look over towards Houston. Like I said, Houston, there's a little bit of shower activity starting to kick off here. The moment if we start seeing like isolated storms firing off here, that's the moment where I'm going to be a little concerned about tornado probabilities. But because, like I said, we looked at the mesoanalysis here. We have the winds pushing up north. A couple thousand feet up here, we have the winds that are pushing to the north, and we have the winds changing directions to the northeast. A couple kilo feet up. Tens of kilo feet up. So, but yeah, that definitely is a thing there. But all right, well, guys, if you have any more questions, let me know. We will be here for y'all. I don't know how much longer we're gonna be live here tonight. Not exactly sure. I obviously at some point got to get rest for tomorrow's event, because if we're gonna go live early, 2 o'clock or so, which means it's not really that early, but. If I'm going to want to be able to have the energy to be talking all tomorrow, I probably would need to get off here eventually. Let's see. I think wind 15, tornado 10, hail 5 in a small area. It depends. Like I said, obviously, I think that wind threat's going to be a big possibility. The deep Cape values, the downwards Cape, some areas have been pushing over 1,000, which, typically sometimes that can support isolated gusts up to 70, if things get pretty bad, which I think that's what they're probably going to consider issuing a higher risk possibility, which we'll see. Obviously the overall coverage, stretches all the way up to southern Illinois, by the way. So, like I said, pretty large area, but we'll see. Obviously we're not the storm prediction center. We can't tell you what's exactly going to be popping off, but we can only guess at this point. We can only estimate what they're going to do. But based off of what I've seen, guys, it looks pretty interesting. It definitely looks a bit interesting here. Absolutely. But anyways, like I said, if you guys have not already, like I said, consider hitting that subscribe button. It'll be greatly appreciated. Once again, thank you all so much for being here. You guys absolutely rock. I think we're going to take another break here in a moment. I think I'm going to take a little bit longer one, probably 10 minutes if y'all don't mind. That way, or we'll take a 15-minute break. I know it sounds like a lot, but I just need a minute to relax and rest here for a moment. When I get back, we're going to go over the Storm Prediction Center, all that stuff over again. We'll look at the models. We'll dive into all that fun stuff. But we're going to head off here for a little break again. Once again, my friends, we just took a break here a little bit over a half hour ago for 5 minutes, but I think I made it a little bit longer. That way I can, obviously rest the voice for a minute. All right, my friends. Well, we'll be back here in 15. Once again, if you're new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button. Be greatly appreciated. Go grab yourself some dinner if you are not already, which I'm sure most of you guys should have had dinner by now. But if not, go grab yourself something to eat, grab a snack, go grab whatever you want to do, and we'll be back here in a little bit. All right, my friends, take care out there. Once again, thank all of y'all for your support, and we'll be back here in a little bit. All right, my friends, catch y'all then.
Light rain and fog, 47, north at 10. Arlington, rain and fog, 49, north at 15. McKinney, light rain, 47, north at 13. Denton, light rain and fog, 46, north at 15, gusting to 21. Elsewhere around the region, Wichita Falls, light rain, 41, north at 18, wind chill 32. Abilene, light rain and fog, 41, north at 14. Waco, rain and fog, 50, northwest at 13. Tyler, cloudy, 65, east at 9. Once again at 8 p.m., DFW Airport, a thunderstorm, 48, north at 14. Now let's check on your local forecast for the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Tonight, showers with a chance of thunderstorms. Patchy fog. Cooler with lows in the mid-40s. North winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Chance of rain near 100%. Wednesday, a chance of thunderstorms. Showers. Patchy fog. Cooler with highs in the lower 50s. Northwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming west 10 to 15 miles an hour in the afternoon. Chance of rain near 100%. Wednesday night, partly cloudy in the evening, then becoming mostly clear. Cold with lows in the upper 30s. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Thursday, sunny. Not as cool with highs in the lower 60s. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming west in the afternoon. And now the extended forecast. Thursday night, mostly clear. Cold with lows in the upper 30s. Northwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Friday, mostly sunny. Cooler with highs around 50. Friday night, mostly clear. Cold with lows around 30. Saturday, sunny. Highs in the mid-50s. Saturday night, mostly clear in the evening, then becoming partly cloudy. Cold with lows in the mid-30s. Sunday, mostly sunny in the morning, then becoming mostly cloudy. Highs in the upper 50s. Sunday night, mostly cloudy. A 20% chance of showers after midnight. Not as cool with lows in the upper 40s. Monday, cloudy with a 50% chance of showers. Highs in the lower 60s. Monday night, cloudy. A chance of showers in the evening, then showers likely after midnight. Lows in the lower 50s. Chance of rain 60%. Tuesday, cloudy. Showers likely in the morning, then a chance of showers in the afternoon. Highs in the lower 60s. Chance of rain 60%. The hazardous weather outlook through tonight for North Texas. A chance of thunderstorms will continue through tonight. Heavy rainfall and localized flooding will be possible, primarily along and east of Interstate 35. Additionally, a few strong storms are possible across central Texas this evening. Gusty winds and small hail will be the main threat. Spotter activation is not expected at this time. And now the hazardous weather outlook for Wednesday through Monday. A few thunderstorms are possible through Wednesday afternoon. The main concern will be heavy rainfall, which may result in flooding of low-lying and poorly drained areas. The Dallas-Fort Worth climate summary for this evening, as of 6 p.m., February 7th, 2023. Today's high temperature was 64 degrees and the low 48 degrees. 0.02 inches of precipitation fell today, which brings the monthly total to 0.71 inches. The total precipitation for the year now stands at 2.09 inches. The normal high temperature for tomorrow is 60 degrees, and the normal low is 39. The record high for tomorrow is 85, which occurred in 1962, and the record low is 2, which occurred in 1933. Sunset tonight is at 6:06 p.m. Sunrise tomorrow is at 7:18 a.m. The ultraviolet index forecast for February 8th is 0 or low. The current time is 8:09 p.m. Central Standard Time. You are listening to NOAA All Hazards Radio, the voice of the National Weather Service, station KEC 56, serving the Dallas-Fort Worth listening area. The following reports of weather temperature and wind were made at 8 p.m. DFW Airport, a thunderstorm, 48, dew point 46, relative humidity 93%, wind north at 14, pressure 30.05 inches and rising. Dallas Love Field, cloudy, 49, north at 13. Fort Worth Meacham, light rain and fog, 47, north at 10. Arlington, rain and fog, 49, north at 15. McKinney, light rain, 47, north at 13. Denton, light rain and fog, 46, north at 15, gusting to 21. Elsewhere around the region, Wichita Falls, light rain, 41, north at 18, wind chill 32. Abilene, light rain and fog, 41, north at 14. Waco, rain and fog, 50, northwest at 13. Tyler, cloudy, 65, east at 9. Once again at 8 p.m., DFW Airport, a thunderstorm, 48, north at 14. Now let's check on your local forecast for the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Tonight, showers with a chance of thunderstorms. Patchy fog. Cooler with lows in the mid-40s. North winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Chance of rain near 100%. Wednesday, a chance of thunderstorms. Showers. Patchy fog. Cooler with highs in the lower 50s. Northwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming west 10 to 15 miles an hour in the afternoon. Chance of rain near 100%. Wednesday night, partly cloudy in the evening, then becoming mostly clear. Cold with lows in the upper 30s. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Thursday, sunny. Not as cool with highs in the lower 60s. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming west in the afternoon. And now the extended forecast. Thursday night, mostly clear. Cold with lows in the upper 30s. Northwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Friday, mostly sunny. Cooler with highs around 50. Friday night, mostly clear. Cold with lows around 30. Saturday, sunny. Highs in the mid-50s. Saturday night, mostly clear in the evening, then becoming partly cloudy. Cold with lows in the mid-30s. Sunday, mostly sunny in the morning, then becoming mostly cloudy. Highs in the upper 50s. Sunday night, mostly cloudy. A 20% chance of showers after midnight. Not as cool with lows in the upper 40s. Monday, cloudy with a 50% chance of showers. Highs in the lower 60s. Monday night, cloudy. A chance of showers in the evening, then showers likely after midnight. Lows in the lower 50s. Chance of rain 60%. Tuesday, cloudy. Showers likely in the morning, then a chance of showers in the afternoon. Highs in the lower 60s. Chance of rain 60%. The hazardous weather outlook through tonight for North Texas. A chance of thunderstorms will continue through tonight. Heavy rainfall and localized flooding will be possible, primarily along and east of Interstate 35. Additionally, a few strong storms are possible across central Texas this evening. Gusty winds and small hail will be the main threat. Spotter activation is not expected at this time. And now the hazardous weather outlook for Wednesday through Monday. A few thunderstorms are possible through Wednesday afternoon. The main concern will be heavy rainfall, which may result in flooding of low-lying and poorly drained areas. The Dallas-Fort Worth climate summary for this evening, as of 6 p.m., February 7th, 2023. Today's high temperature was 64 degrees and the low 48 degrees. 0.02 inches of precipitation fell today, which brings the monthly total to 0.71 inches. The total precipitation for the year now stands at 2.09 inches. The normal high temperature for tomorrow is 60 degrees, and the normal low is 39. The record high for tomorrow is 85, which occurred in 1962, and the record low is 2, which occurred in 1933. Sunset tonight is at 6:06 p.m. Sunrise tomorrow is at 7:18 a.m. The ultraviolet index forecast for February 8th is 0, or low. The current time is 8:14 p.m. Central Standard Time. You are listening to NOAA, All Hazards Radio, the voice of the National Weather Service, station KEC 56. Serving the Dallas-Fort Worth listening area. The following reports of weather, temperature, and wind were made at 8 p.m. DFW Airport, a thunderstorm, 48, dew point 46, relative humidity 93%, wind north at 14, pressure 30.05 inches and rising. Dallas Love Field, cloudy, 49, north at 13. Fort Worth Meacham, light rain and fog, 46, north at 13, gusting to 23. Arlington, a thunderstorm, 49, north at 16. McKinney, light rain, 47, north at 13. Denton, light rain and fog, 46, north at 15, gusting to 21. Elsewhere around the region, Wichita Falls, light rain, 41, north at 18, wind chill 32. Abilene, light rain and fog, 41, north at 14. Waco, rain and fog, 50, northwest at 13. Tyler, cloudy, 65, east at 9. Once again at 8 p.m., DFW Airport, a thunderstorm, 48, north at 14. Now let's check on your local forecast for the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Tonight, showers with a chance of thunderstorms. Patchy fog. Cooler with lows in the mid-40s. North winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Chance of rain near 100%. Wednesday, a chance of thunderstorms. Showers. Patchy fog. Cooler with highs in the lower 50s. Northwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming west 10 to 15 miles an hour in the afternoon. Chance of rain near 100%. Wednesday night, partly cloudy in the evening, then becoming mostly clear. Cold with lows in the upper 30s. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Thursday, sunny. Not as cool, with highs in the lower 60s. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming west in the afternoon. And now the extended forecast. Thursday night, mostly clear. Cold with lows in the upper 30s. Northwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Friday, mostly sunny. Cooler with highs around 50. Friday night, mostly clear. Cold with lows around 30. Saturday, sunny. Highs in the mid-50s. Saturday night, mostly clear in the evening, then becoming partly cloudy. Cold with lows in the mid-30s. Sunday, mostly sunny in the morning, then becoming mostly cloudy. Highs in the upper 50s. Sunday night, mostly cloudy. A 20% chance of showers after midnight. Not as cool, with lows in the upper 40s. Monday, cloudy with a 50% chance of showers. Highs in the lower 60s. Monday night, cloudy. A chance of showers in the evening, then showers likely after midnight. Lows in the lower 50s. Chance of rain 60%. Tuesday, cloudy. Showers likely in the morning, then a chance of showers in the afternoon. Highs in the lower 60s. Chance of rain 60%. The hazardous weather outlook through tonight for North Texas. A chance of thunderstorms will continue through tonight. Heavy rainfall and localized flooding will be possible, primarily along and east of Interstate 35. Additionally, a few strong storms are possible across central Texas this evening. Gusty winds and small hail will be the main threat. Spotter activation is not expected at this time. And now the hazardous weather outlook for Wednesday through Monday. A few thunderstorms are possible through Wednesday afternoon. The main concern will be heavy rainfall, which may result in flooding of low-lying and poorly drained areas.
All right, my friends, we are back here. Hope everyone is doing all right. We have now been live here for over 2 hours, although we did just take a 15-minute break. What's up, you guys? Hope everyone is doing all right out there. Glad to have everybody here. Like I said, we're going to be talking about the winter side as well as the severe weather side like we have been. Obviously the main goal today is just to make sure that everybody is, prepared for this event. Make sure everyone understands what's happening out there. Because like I said, obviously, the goal here is to make sure that you all are staying safe out there and to make sure that, whatever we can do here in order to help you is, available to you guys. But once again, glad to have everybody here. So, like I said, we're going to be swapping back and forth, between winter weather and severe weather. So you're going to hear us, like I said, what I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to be talking about winter weather, and then I'm going to talk about severe weather. So obviously we'll be swapping back and forth and all that stuff here. Anyways, let's see here. Roll says, how is Tennessee looking? So Tennessee, there is actually a risk here for some severe storms, and I guess that's what we'll start with since you asked. So across the areas here, you can see there's the state of Tennessee. So for central and western Tennessee, there is a threat for possible strong to severe storms. So that's for tomorrow. So watch out for that. Tornado probability is only existent on the western side. This does include Nashville as well as Memphis, Tennessee. So if you're across those areas, watch out for it. Damaging winds is also a possibility. Watch out for that. Maybe some small hail across, the Memphis area could be possible on the far western side. But yeah, there is a threat for severe storms here for tomorrow. So like I said, for central and western, depending on where you're at in Tennessee, that's kind of what we're looking at. So, but like I said, if there's anybody in the chat here, if there's anybody here right now that's watching, if you are across areas here in eastern Texas, throughout central Arkansas, basically central and eastern Arkansas, southeastern Missouri, southern Illinois, very far southern areas here of Indiana, western Kentucky towards Bowling Green, once again towards Tennessee, Nashville, Memphis area included, through portions of Alabama, obviously cutting right through Mobile from what it looks like. So those areas are the zones that are being impacted by severe weather tomorrow. So that's, like I said, that's the areas we got to be really watching out for. Is obviously, the potential for those, the potential for those severe storms. Now, like I said, you might notice how there is two, oh wow. We have a live camera here in Dallas, and there was a lightning strike that just went off here. I wish I had it on there. But anyways, like I was saying, there's two different shades here. Like I said, there's a dark green and there's a yellow. Like I said, the dark green is a level 1 out of 5. Like I said, there's a scale from 1 to 5, 5 being the worst possible, 1 being the lowest. We're at a level 1, but like I said, it covers a lot of ground here, though. That's the thing, is the more ground you cover, the more likelihood of severe storms happening. But like I said, a level 1 out of 5 is still not meaning that you're 100% in the clear. Because like I said, that is a severe weather risk, meaning that is still a risk for severe storms. So don't let that level fool you. And then we have ourselves a level 2 out of 5. Across the yellow, that's where things are a little more serious. That's where, obviously, the more greater potential of severe storms. That's where we have, like I said, a higher probability of severe storms and a lot more, potentially a little bit more severe than the areas in the dark green. So that's to watch out there. So like I said, level 2 out of 5 across the yellow, level 1 out of 5 across the green here is indeed something we're watching. Now, I'll tell you what, like I said, we're watching here. It just, oh my God, I almost caught it. There was another lightning strike here into the Dallas camera. Like I said, we take a look here at Dallas. Oh, yeah. So we're going to keep it on Dallas here for a second because, look, here's Dallas. You can see right there on the right-hand side. See all that red right there? That is thunderstorm activity. There is some storms that is moving through right now, actually in Dallas. Like I said, right there between, yeah, there's Fort Worth right here. You can see right there. And then we move over here to the east a little bit. That is Dallas. That little storm system is moving right now through. Watch the camera. We're probably going to get some more lightning here soon. I would have to say here that 49 degrees in northern Dallas, and in southern Dallas it's also 49. So the temperature's dropping quite a bit, actually. White Wolf says, welcome back. Thank you so much. Roll says, thank you. No problem. No problem at all, my friends. I got y'all covered. You guys, like I said, obviously, throughout the stream, like I said, this stream is for you all too. Like I said, obviously this stream is for you guys in order to make sure y'all are staying safe out there. And if there's anything that you want to look, like I said, if there's anything that you want to look at, let me know. But once again, like I said, this is a camera here in Dallas. Oh, there's a lightning flash right there. Just a little one. Like I said, we switch back here to the camera, or the radar view. Like I said, you can see this little storm system moving through Dallas here right now. Does not look like there's any rotation, obviously, on this, which is good. Yeah, we don't want to deal with any rotation, but looks good. Yeah, honestly, looks pretty good here. Let's try Houston real quick. Let's see if there's going on toward Houston. Yeah, last time we looked, there's a few little pop-up showers. You see these little guys. A little bit of shower activity. Ooh, that might be a little thunder shower possibility. Yeah, it looks like we might be dealing with a little bit more thunderstorms. Let's see, Corpus Christi. Oh, yeah, we might have a little bit of thunderstorm activity starting to move into southern Texas. Interesting. That is definitely interesting. But like I said, back here with Dallas. Yeah, like I said, Dallas is getting hit right now by this little line of storms. Oh, yeah, Dallas, look at that. Dallas is right in the middle of it. But like I said, keep an eye on that camera because I've seen a few lightning flashes. I've already seen 3 of them. We've seen that one on the camera. I've seen 2 bigger ones, though, which is pretty crazy. I think this is more of intra-cloud lightning, which, like I said, if you don't know what that is, basically just the big crawlers that go across the sky rather than zapping the ground specifically. I mean, that's what I think it is because I think the base of the storms got cut off a bit. But overall, I mean, it's still it's storming pretty good there. I mean, you can see how the camera looks like it's drunk. It's just going in and out like that. But yeah, that's the raindrops. It's obviously hitting the camera lens there. Interesting. Let's see. I have water because at school after recess I get thirsty. Okay. Caden. Was not expecting to hear that in the chat, but all right. But like I said, yep, down. Oh, there we go. Whoa, that was a big one. That was a big flash. That's the one I was telling you guys about. I've seen a couple of those already. So, yep, Dallas is getting hit here right now. I was waiting for it. I wanted to get one on camera. I wanted to get one on live stream here for you. Yeah, so that's, like I said, this is just the beginning of the event here. Like I said, this is just a little, think of this as the appetizer to tomorrow's entree that we're going to be seeing here. So, like I said, think of this as the appetizer. The entree is yet to tomorrow. We got that big risk across the south, which we'll be watching out for. But like I said, it looks like a lot more thunderstorms are starting to pop up here towards the region, which is pretty interesting. Which is definitely quite interesting here. Anyways, but that's that. That's what we're looking at there at the moment. So like I said, we're going to switch this over here to the Storm Prediction Center. I'm going to go ahead and explain this really quickly for the people just joining us. And then we're going to switch over to the models, and I'm going to show you guys, what things are looking like in the overall view here. So, anyways, moving on over here, guys, to the Storm Prediction Center view. Like I said, we have ourselves a slight risk for tomorrow. I think this possibly could be expanded into enhanced risk. But like I said, the areas here basically across the dark green and the yellow, you guys are at risk for a few strong to severe storms here, in which we are watching. Chad says there's a margin risk for day 3. Yes, there is. Across areas here, the panhandle of Florida, throughout areas of southern Alabama and southwestern Georgia. Yeah, there is another risk here for Thursday. But like I said, here's tomorrow's Wednesday's threat. Like I said, we have marginal risk here with a slight risk as well. Like I said, slight risk, obviously the biggest risk here. Louisiana, Mississippi, southeastern Arkansas, kind of the target areas we're watching out for. Kind of the worst potential there, or the highest potential, I should say, being possible across those locations. So got to watch out for it. Tornado probability as of now, 5% chance across the brown, 2% chance across the green. So like I said, honestly, it's not the lowest tornado threat, so there's a pretty decent chance here. We could see a few tornadoes tomorrow overall, so we'll have to watch out for that. Damaging wind possibilities as well. We're going to need to watch out for this here. Maybe some damaging winds. Like I said, it's a big long line of storms here that's driving the possibility of some damaging winds. Small concern. What's that? Uh-oh. Okay, hazardous weather outlook. Okay, I was about to say. There's a small little hail concern here across eastern Texas for basically northern Louisiana and areas here towards Arkansas, western Tennessee, western Mississippi there, southeastern Missouri too. That's kind of words right there. So little hail threat is possible here. Then like I said, for Thursday, we had the little margin risk here. We were talking about what Chad was talking about there. But anyways, that's that. Like I said, that's kind of what we are, what we are watching here. We're going to need to continue watching this. Chad's talking about that other possible storm we could be seeing here for not this week, but maybe later on next week. It's possible. I will say the two major models, the GFS and European model, are supporting that, so that's something to watch out here for. Anyways, but moving on over here, guys, we're going to take a look at the conditions. Like I said, we're going to take a look at the models regarding such. Like I said, we're going to be following along. Right now, we're going to take a look at the WRAP model, which is the rapid refresh. This comes out every 3 hours or so, so it's a pretty... we're actually going to come to the latest one here. Like I said, so it's a pretty, pretty rapidly updated model. But like I said, you can see right here across the way, the pinks and the blues is representing a lot of energy. Like I said, take a picture, or just, like I said, picture this essentially. Pretty much what this is basically all the fuel that's required for, thunderstorms to kick off and all that stuff. So like I said, obviously with that being said, we are seeing, like I said, a lot of energy, a lot of available energy in the atmosphere to allow for these thunderstorms to kick off here. I had another lightning strike on the other camera. But like I said, obviously there's a lot of energy available, throughout eastern Texas, throughout Louisiana there, throughout Arkansas, central, southern Arkansas, northeastern possibly, western Tennessee, portions of Mississippi, then moving through Alabama. So like I said, that is basically the fuel that's required for thunderstorms to kick off here. Like I said, where you see the fuel in the pink and blue, that is showing the supportive thunderstorm energy. The purples is kind of weak instability or weak fuel, not really enough for severe weather. But like I said, once you move into that pink, the really sharp pink and the blues, that's where there's a lot of energy, which we got to watch out for. Like I said, take a look here at the winds. Those winds here towards the ground. Like I said, we take a look here, relatively not at the ground, but about 2 to 4,000 feet up. Like I said, really not that high up there. I mean, it's really 2 to 4,000 feet is really not too high. So about that high, we have the winds that are pushing to the north, from the Gulf of Mexico, moving their way into the region of the southeast. So they are moving their way up here to the north. And like I said, we see that all these little wind barbs are pushing up here to the north, essentially. But like I said, as you go up further in the atmosphere, you're going to notice how those wind directions actually change. They actually move their way from just to the north, across the lower portions to the northeast, the higher you go up there. So like I said, there is a change in wind direction, which is definitely quite interesting. So obviously we have all of that going on there. So the wind directional change is a thing. So anyways, but like I said, that's what's going on there. That is indeed what we are seeing. A lot of the, the lower levels moving more north than the mid levels of the atmosphere. We're talking 30,000 feet, which that's actually pretty high. That changes to the northeast. So obviously there's a big directional wind change. So with that change in wind direction, that creates spin in the atmosphere. So with all that energy we have available and all those winds that are together, like I said, basically what that is it's showing us that we have all the ingredients that's necessary to actually produce. Like I said, in order to actually produce, the possibility there of some tornadoes. And like I said, I hate to say that, but that does seem to be quite a possibility there. So all the ingredients are there. Like I said, there really is one other thing we look at is the dew points. Like I said, dew points typically for a severe weather event need to be around the 60s and 70s. And we just have that. We have just that. We have that very, very strong cold front moving through there. Like I said, these kind of darker values here are showing the upper 60s, and this is kind of showing the 70s in that kind of purple color. So like I said, 60s and 70s dew points is perfect for everything there. So like I said, we got the dew points. That's going to supply the storms here with a lot of moisture. That's going to supply the possibility of some tornadoes as well. Yeah, those tornadoes are basically moisture nutrients. Moisture reliant, I should say. I don't know what I was trying to say there. They're moisture reliant, essentially. And like I said, they need those dew points here into the into the 60s. So that's kind of the thing there. That's kind of what we're looking at. But anyways, that's all that. Like I said, that's kind of what we're looking at there. Like I said, we take a look here over at the timing for this event and all. Like I said, we have a pretty strong pretty strong cold front that's expected to develop out of this. And actually, we have a new model. The new NAM model just came out here. So we have a new view of things. What's interesting is it kind of shows the storm line, the line of storms kicking off a little bit later than what the previous run of the say. But we switch on back here to NAM 3-kilometer model. So we take a look here across the eastern side here of Texas. You start to notice how we have this long line pushing through. Honestly, like I said, there, kind of right around 4 or 5 o'clock or so. Eastern's when that big line's going to really start. So it's going to be like late afternoon, early evening, essentially. like I said, once the big event starts here. Then we track away obviously through to midnight. Storms will still be continuing after midnight for tomorrow. It's basically an early Thursday commute. Obviously kicking off for Wednesday afternoon into evening, and then kicking off there through early Thursday too. Really continuing until about sunrise on Thursday. Then things are going to calm down a bit. Is kind of what what things is looking like. But like I said, there's also going to be a possibility of maybe some snow towards areas here, maybe in western, like I said here, for portions of western Oklahoma into eastern Kansas, cutting through areas of northern Missouri, and even up further. And speaking of the snow, I tell you what, let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about that snow possibility here. So, anyways, let's go ahead and do that right now. I'm going to go ahead and fire up another program I have here that really takes things pretty pretty good here. Anyways, but here's the snow probability. We're going to switch on over to that here right now. Like I said, we switch on over here. So this is kind of the expectancy out of the snow potential. Like I said, there is a decent amount of snow that is actually in the forecast here for quite a bit of people. So like I said, for the northeastern quadrant, for like northeastern Iowa, moving into portions of Wisconsin, the grounds is honestly kind of around maybe 4 to 8 inches being possible there. Northeastern side of, like I said, northeastern side of Iowa, cutting through basically, southwestern Wisconsin, basically cutting through the south central portion, even up into the upper state of Michigan. Like I said, things are going to be kicking up here quite a bit. So that's something to keep an eye out here for. So like I said, overall, I mean, there is a decent amount of, like I said, there's a decent amount of snow that's going to be actually in the forecast here for a little bit of people, which is something we got to, something we got to be watching out for, something we'll definitely need to keep on watching here. But overall, I mean, like I said, a decent amount of snowfall is here in the forecast. Like I said, we switch on over here to the we switch over here to the models, like the main models, the GFS and the ECMWF here. We'll do that here right now. Like I said, the heaviest of the snowfall is expected across the areas here, of the Midwest region, essentially. Like I said, the Midwest is the heaviest is expected here. So let's go ahead and switch on over to that here right now. So, anyways, so like I said, the GFS model, this is the American model. Now, this, like I said, once again, you cannot trust one model in particular. But like I was saying, areas here towards, northern Missouri here, possibly 3 to 5 inches. Eastern Iowa, though, that's a little high, compared to what the GFS has to say. A little bit high here, which is pretty crazy. But like I said, that is what we're looking at. So eastern Iowa maybe up to, I'd say, 8 to 12 inches possible, according to the GFS. Once again, do not trust this alone. Same thing for areas in southern Wisconsin. As you're going to notice, between all these models and stuff, it looks like the heaviest of the snow will be kind of around in these areas here. Possibly, like I said, mostly throughout areas here of, basically eastern Iowa into southern Wisconsin. That is where the heaviest amounts of snow is going to be on the system here, in which we are definitely watching out here for. But like I said, also in the portions here of the upper areas of Michigan, I mean, maybe could see, I'd say 4 to 8 inches being possible. So that's something to keep an eye out here for. But once again, that's the GFS model. We can't just trust one in particular model, so that's why we're switching on over here to the European. Now, the European model is actually a little bit more aggressive, believe it or not, here. Still showing the possibility of, maybe up to, maybe up to 8 to 12 inches, across some areas here. Definitely could be possible. It's definitely not ruled out. I mean, if you look at it, first of all, the comparison between the American GFS and this European model is the fact that, these models are saying the same thing, showing the heaviest snow across those same areas. Eastern Iowa cutting through portions of, central, south central Wisconsin. So that in itself is pretty interesting. That's kind of what we're looking at. So that's something to definitely, keep an eye out. Like I said, it's something to definitely keep an eye out here for. So we'll keep on watching it. Now, here's the thing. The blend of models, like I said, this takes a whole bunch of models and kind of throws them together here. When it comes to the snowfall across these locations, the blend of models is, once again, a lot lower Obviously a little bit lower than what the GFS and the European models had to say. Like I said, obviously showing that. Like I said, obviously areas here for, once again, northeastern Iowa through central and southern Wisconsin. Once again, as mentioned before, that is the heaviest areas we are going to be seeing there. So we'll watch it. Like I said, we'll just definitely need to keep an eye on it. We'll give you all more updates on that here for tomorrow. Obviously, keeping an eye on that stuff. It's going to be needed to be watched and stuff like that. Once again, like I said, the official forecast is right here, and they're calling for a decent amount. Like I said, here's the official forecast. This is the one you should probably go off of the most, though. Southwestern Wisconsin. Like I said, moving into areas here northeastern Iowa. Once again, possibly up 4 to 8 inches with locally higher amounts, maybe up to 9 or 10 being possible. So that could be something to keep an eye here for. No ice on the system, which is good. Nothing in the forecast anyways, which is definitely great news. Yeah, we don't want to deal with any ice. Snow is doable, but ice is not something you want to mess with. So that's the thing here. Now, wind gusts out of this system are going to get pretty gusty for a little bit. Yeah, as we were watching here, because I made a video on this here yesterday. I made a video on this here yesterday. And there was actually a, like I said, essentially what I was talking about. So, like I said, we were talking about all this here. Is that, yesterday we were talking about all this activity and all that stuff. Like I said, once again, it's just crazy. I'm just kind of watching this here really quickly. That is just crazy. So, like I said, it actually does show it moving into areas of northwestern Illinois. Sorry, I just kind of squirreled there for a moment, but that just kind of caught my eye there. Like I said, it really looks to, according to GFS, starting to really kick up across northwestern Illinois there. ECMWF here. This one is, honestly, that's kind of the same. Yeah, Illinois, it's a very difficult area to forecast for this event. Because, like I said, obviously there is, that pivot point there. If you're north of that low pressure system or west, you're probably going to get some snow. But if you're east of it, then or south of it, then you're probably not going to get anything. So that's why you can see how the snow is arced to an angle on the backhand side here, essentially. Because, like I said, all that warm air is pushing up, bringing all that moisture, and then the moisture is wrapping around to the cold side. Cooler air is coming down behind it and basically cooling it down enough to be into the form of that stuff. So, like I said, that's kind of what we're looking at. Crystal says, hello, what's up, Crystal? Hope you're doing good. Glad to have you here, my friend. And once again, Crystal says, sorry, I'm late. No problem. Yeah, we've been live here for about 2 hours and 45 minutes. Been live here a while. So I think I'm going to cut it off, guys, at 10 o'clock Eastern. Like I said, the reason I'm doing that is because, like I said, we've been live here for 3 hours. I got to get some rest at some point tonight, y'all. So at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, we're going to head off here, which is in about 18 minutes. So like I said, if you have any questions at this point, feel free to let me know. Like I said, we got you all covered. We're going to be here for you guys. We're going to make sure y'all are staying up to date with all this craziness. Once again, tomorrow's the big day. Like I said, tonight things are starting, but tomorrow is the big day. So we'll keep an eye on it. And we'll see what happens. But like I said, right now, at the moment, there's really nothing crazy going on here, which is good, which is definitely good news. Let's see here. Hack says, up in Michigan, we'll probably get Grayling area, get some snow frequently as elevation is pretty high. Yeah, I do think that, the upper portions, the upper elevations, or the upper portions of Michigan, the main state of Michigan, the upper portion, those areas are probably going to see a decent amount of snowfall. Possibly, some areas here, 3 to 5 inches possibly, in the upper areas, which might be something to watch out here for. Which we'll continue watching this. Like I said, as the event approaches tomorrow, we'll have a lot of short range model opinions on this. We'll obviously be able to have a lot more opinions on the snow side of it. Just all of it in general, really. Yeah, here's Louisiana's pretty quiet right now, but I tell you what. Yeah, those temperatures are increasing. Like I said, mid 60s at this time. That's pretty pretty warm. So we're starting to get a lot of that advection, a lot of that warm air is starting to draw its way up here. And like I said, we actually can look at that right now. Switching on over here to the meso analysis, like I said, this is current active data. We have a lot of, like I said, we have a lot of those winds that's starting to push their way up here to the north, essentially. Starting to drive their way up here to the north here. So that is that. That is what we are seeing here. So a lot of, like I said, we have a lot of, those warm air that's starting to push up their way to the north here, across the lower levels of the atmosphere. And like I said, as you go up in elevation, you're going to notice the temperature, you're going to notice the wind direction changes up here to the northeast. So there is a bit of wind directional change here, as you can see. So basically starting from the north, at the lower portions of the atmosphere, pushing to the north. And then as you go up in elevation, they turn to the northeast. So there's a bit of wind direction. There's a bit of spin that's to kick off there. Obviously that's why we have a little tornado threat across eastern Texas today. And then we have tomorrow's big tornado threat there, across areas of Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi region. So that's what we need to watch out for. Like I said, we take a look here back at the Storm Prediction Center here. Tomorrow's risk, like I said, it's quite large. We have a pretty large risk here tomorrow, in which we should watch out here for. In which, if I show you all SPC outlooks, I could really dive locally in this here. Let me let's see. Yeah, there's today's threat here. Here's tomorrow's threat. There you go. Yeah, so like I said, the bullseye of tomorrow's threat is throughout Louisiana, throughout Mississippi, and throughout southeastern Arkansas there. So like I said, obviously, those regions there, I could have drew that a lot better. Like I said, this is kind of the area where the most activity is forecasted to happen, if that makes any sense. So basically, like I said, most of Louisiana, pretty much most of Louisiana there. Areas here of Mississippi and southeastern Arkansas. Like I said, this also does include areas of like Jackson, Mississippi. So if you know anyone towards like Jackson or anywhere nearby, just let them know. You just give them a heads up. Let them know. Like I said, right now it's just a little slight risk here. Like I said, the fact that it covers a pretty large area is a little concerning here. But overall, we'll just need to continue watching this here tomorrow. Like I said, tomorrow we're gonna have the overall view of it. Like I said, tornado potential there, 5% chance. And like I said, honestly, I believe that this risk possibly could get upgraded to an enhanced risk. I think it's quite probable. I would give it a 50% chance here. It could go either way, honestly. Like I said, the reason I say that is, based off of the models we've seen, everything is in line here. We have some very, very strong, some moisture-rich dew points here, towards the lower levels here. We got ourselves a lot of energy across the the atmosphere here. Like I said, over 1,000, which is really good for thunderstorm activity. Just overall, all the conditions are in favor, for all this activity here. But anyways, well, that's it, my friends. Well, I think actually, like I said, we're heading off here at 10, but I think we might call it a little early. It's best just to get ready for tomorrow's event here. Like I said, tomorrow we are going to be live for you guys. We're going to make sure that y'all are staying up to date out there whenever the live event unfolds. Like I said, during the time being, we're going to be here for you guys in order to make sure y'all are staying up to date with the active storms that's going on there and all that stuff. Once again, if there's anything that we can do for y'all tonight as one last thing, any last requests here, let me know. Like I said, please let me know, and we'll do this here for you. But like I said, we've been live here for about 3 hours now, so I think that's a good stopping place here for tonight. Because like I said, we have to be live a lot longer tomorrow, which is obviously something we're going to need to watch out here for. But anyways, that's it, my friends. Well, I think that's going to go ahead and wrap it up here for... like I said, I think that's going to go ahead and wrap it up here for tonight. Once again, everybody, thank you all so much for joining us. You guys absolutely are the best. Always know that. And once again, big shout out goes to Javier as well as Proxy for this super chat. Thank you all so much. You guys absolutely rock. Big shout outs go to you. Mark says, thank you, Andrew. No problem. No problem at all. Appreciate all your all support. Once again, thank you guys for just being here with us, throughout this this crazy event here that's getting ready to unfold here. Like I said, hopefully it isn't too bad. But like I said, we'll obviously we'll see how things play out tomorrow. And like I said, based off of how things play out tomorrow, obviously we'll have to just see how that goes and everything like that. All right. Well, once again, everybody, thank you all so much for joining us this year. Okay. I was saying something. All right. But once again, thank you all so much for joining us. You all have an amazing rest of your night. See, thank you as always. No problem, DL. Let's see. Thanks for a long live stream. Have a great night. You too, cool. All right. Let's see. This is literally my unseen family. See you guys. Absolutely. Yeah, I think of you guys as the weather family here. Let's see, congrats on 8.5K subscribers. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's crazy. I can only thank you guys for that. It's greatly appreciated, my friends. All right, y'all. Well, that's going to wrap it up here for right now. Like I said, tomorrow, tomorrow, we're going to have some coverage for y'all regarding this event here. Probably going to go live maybe around 2 or so. We will... I don't know. I'd say probably 2 or 3 o'clock. We'll see how things go there. I'm probably going to go around 3 or so. I can, obviously, I want to be there at least an hour before the event actually starts so I could talk about the event before it really starts kicking off. But like I said, you know how that goes. All right, guys. Well, once again, thank you all so much for joining us. That's going to go ahead and wrap it up here for tonight. Stream's going to head off here in approximately 2 minutes. All right, my friends. Once again, thank you for joining us. And we'll catch you all here for tomorrow. Peace out. Love y'all. Stay safe out there.
Interstate 35. Additionally, a few strong storms are possible across central Texas this evening. Gusty winds and small hail will be the main threat. Spotter activation is not expected at this time. And now the hazardous weather outlook for Wednesday through Monday. A few thunderstorms are possible through Wednesday afternoon. The main concern will be heavy rainfall, which may result in flooding of low-lying and poorly drained areas. The Dallas-Fort Worth climate summary for this evening, as of 6 p.m., February 7th, 2023. Today's high temperature was 64 degrees and the low 48 degrees. 0.02 inches of precipitation fell today, which brings the monthly total to 0.71 inches. The total precipitation for the year now stands at 2.09 inches. The normal high temperature for tomorrow is 60 degrees, and the normal low is 39. The record high for tomorrow is 85, which occurred in 1962, and the record low is 2, which occurred in 1933. Sunset tonight is at 6:06 p.m. Sunrise tomorrow is at 7:18 a.m. The ultraviolet index forecast for February 8th is 0, or low. The current time is 8:52 p.m. Central Standard Time. You are listening to NOAA, All Hazards Radio, the voice of the National Weather Service, station KEC 56. Serving the Dallas-Fort Worth listening area. The following reports of weather temperature and wind were made at 8 p.m. DFW Airport, a thunderstorm, 48, dew point 46, relative humidity 93%, wind north at 14, pressure 30.05 inches and rising. Dallas Love Field, cloudy, 49, north at 13. Fort Worth Meacham, light rain and fog, 46, north at 13, gusting to 20.